Alright, I think I'm back.
Okay.
That was weird. Just dropped out for about 10 seconds there. Anyway, let's kick this off with just a quick recap for last session. All 7 strangers, 6 strangers, 6 strangers, all happen to be in the little town of Drynna all at the same time for the festival. And you all went outside to see and fight off your first ever undead creature, a strange zombie. On investigating it and getting asked by the elder of the town, one of the elders, to find out the gnome responsible. The gnome's name was Serena? Serena?
Sonyana.
Sonyana.
Oh, that's who we're after.
Yeah, Sonyana is who you're after. Perrin was another, what you consider another elder of the town, but you're not 100% sure on that point. And she also
And Marin,
asked, Perrin Brawl, yeah, she asked Raken to join you, almost as witness to make sure that the job gets done. So Raken's outside of the gold that you've been offered, so he doesn't get your share, he's been paid separately. You don't have to worry about that. And through your own little investigations, and I believe it was Deacon and Kale, I remember, organised the boat.
Yep.
Right. So you know the boat owner is Donovan, a grizzly old human. He's probably well into his 60s, maybe even older. And you're all, it's around midday, if I recall, that you all gathered outside on the pier to board his boat. And it's a summer day, warm already. The mists aren't as strong as they normally are, but you can see about half a mile out into the lake. And most days you've been here, you could see maybe 100 yards if you were lucky. The mist is very common. And Donovan's like, yeah, he slowly gets up, looks at you, and he just groans. Is this the lot of you then? Come now, you better get on board. Daylight's already wasting. And he doesn't even wait for you, he just walks up the plank onto his boat. The boat's pretty big. You can see at one point this boat was probably ocean worthy, but without the mast that's broken about halfway down, and what was left of his sails has now been used as some makeshift tent covering. You don't think this boat will go anywhere near the ocean. And you have your doubts about it even going on this lake, but so far it is still afloat. You bravely step on board, saying prayers to whatever gods you worship.
Yeah. Taking it on board.
Yeah, like you all get on there and find your own little seats. There's like, it's not seats like chairs, but there's the odd bench or a turn of a barrel, and you can see it's not, there's no way that this is designed to be comfortable at all. But in your own time and in your own way, you find your own little corner, getting some cover from the sun, or maybe soaking up the sun if you prefer. And
so is that underneath? Is there an underneath section of the boat? Is that what I'm looking at on the?
So you're on the deck. There's like this awning covering, and that's what you're sitting under.
Yep.
So there's no. You're all on top of the deck still.
Got it.
Deacon's just walking about the boat and just inspecting it out of like craftsmanship curiosity.
Sure.
That's how we go.
Cool. So like the boat pushes off, and you can see Donovan pushes off with this extra long pole. It's probably like a 20-foot pole. It pushes and then pushes it down into the water, and it's pushing. Forgive me, but I know almost nothing about boats. 20-foot pole might actually be too short, but he does get the boat moving in a roughly easterly direction,
Mhm.
sort of aiming towards the center of the lake. And he minds his own business and starts pushing the boat along. All along the sides, like you notice things first off all the time, but you can see there are old fishing rods, and there are a bunch of like pretty much the same kind of pole, but these poles have oars at the end of them, so
Mm.
maybe 15 foot or 10 foot long, and there are like makeshift areas to put the hook those oars on, and you get the feeling that eventually people are going to have to row. Eventually. Other than that, there is a small hold area, very small, designed just to keep fish when this was used as a fishing vessel, or
Cargo.
what some people know to smuggle things up the Mooren Lake,
What
which
is
is a
that?
massive river that goes all the way up to Whitehall, Whitestone, Whitestone, I think it is.
Mhm.
And yeah, so eventually, at some point, this boat was probably used and could possibly still be used to go up the river, but um, probably not the ideal boat for the river runs. And you set off, and being pretty much strangers, you're fairly quiet for the first hour, and then you realize that you've got another six,
6 hours.
5 hours on this boat together. And the more charismatic of your lot probably decide you should actually talk. And yes, I'm looking at you, Cal. Just put him on the spot. It's over to
Oh,
you.
I was actually gonna I was actually gonna talk to Donovan.
I think we're losing you, Cal.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I was just gonna talk to Donovan.
Sure. There's enough space in the boat that if you want to go like talk in private, you could go to one bit of side and whisper, but it'd be hard
He's
for people to
he's
hear you.
currently like steering the ship, or
Like anywhere on the boat, you could just go to a different side where there aren't people. I figure most of you, especially I figure most of you would rather be under the tent, so there are space around where you guys can just talk, crack open an ale.
well, yeah. So first, I'm just gonna have some small talk with Donovan and go up to him. Donovan, you look like you're a man who has a lot of stories. Yep. I'm having problem with this.
I don't think Donovan's reacting.
You're talking to Donovan or Deacon?
Yeah, Donovan.
Oh, sorry. Completely missed that. 100% TM asleep on the job. I apologize. So you're going over to Donovan. Donovan is like sort of near the back of the boat, pushing with the pole. And you can see he's leaning a little bit more over than you think is like safe to lean over the side of the boat while he's pushing this pole along. And it's getting probably to the end where people are going to have to start rowing, or somebody's going to have to start rowing, but he's still trying to make an effort of it. So repeat what you just said. Sorry.
Saying
Minus inspiration for the DM.
I go up to Donovan. So, Donovan, you look like you're a man of many stories.
Your hard currency says, stories I have, lad.
Well,
You're a man, right? What kind of stories you want? The ones that are going to scare the skeleton out of you?
well, what do you tell us of some of your greatest exploits? You look like a man who has seen things and done things most of us will never ever have the chance to do.
There are exploits of plenty. You know, I was there when the word came of those chromatic things. You know, the dragons. Word came that they had fallen. I was there. I haven't saw one once.
You
Big
saw
red
one
or
of those things and
I saw
survived?
one of them. Red, and he could cover, like, his shadow would cover him this entire lake. He was that big. Boy, did it scare me. What were you talking about? Oh, stories. Yeah, stories. Best stories are probably the ones on the river, boy. There's so much you can do on the river. So many places. You know, I buried treasure up the Mooren Run once. Well, I thought the treasure anyway. For the life of me, I still can't remember where it is. Ha ha ha.
Are you saying there's some lost treasure out there?
Of course there's lost treasure out there. But you should be wary of what's in this lake. I have seen things here. Many things. And there's things that perhaps your kind should not pay witness to. I don't think it will sit well with me dreams.
One question. What do you mean, my kind?
What things might be in the waters?
No,
Or in the sky? Or perhaps
no.
in the
What
mist
do
itself?
you mean?
No, he said
Your kind.
What?
Mean by my kind? Good sir.
Sorry, I'm losing connection.
Really?
yes, you can.
And in South Africa it's called Marmite.
No,
Marmite-
Marmite's different. Marmite's
That is
completely different.
Totally different.
It's
Get
similar
that.
ingredients though.
No,
Yeah.
so
Like it's the same
Marmite's
vegetable
meat
topping.
is meat
No,
extract.
Marmite's not
and
meat
veg-
at all.
It's or yeast.
You're thinking of Bovril. Marmite's like a yeast extract, yeah.
Yeah. So yeast extract and the other one's veggie extract.
Yeah.
Veggie extract.
I like Marmite though.
Marmite's
Big
great.
But anyway. Alright, I've actually plugged the cable into my wireless modem. And it seems to be working better. How lame is that?
Technical bit.
So lame. But I've got my kid in another room that's busy watching Netflix
Ah.
and connecting to the same wireless modem.
Ah,
So it is putting it to its cases. But anyway, so recapping.
mm-hmm.
Donovan's talking about monsters in the water.
And I asked,
And-
what do you mean by my kind?
Your kind.
Mm-hmm.
The kind that hasn't seen combat. Boy.
Okay, I can take that. That's,
And
that's
he
fine,
lost.
but-
Come now. I can see
What?
you're not the fighting kind.
Oh, really?
But
what
don't
do
worry,
you
me
mean?
lord. I did not mean to offend.
No
I thought-
offense taken. As long as you meant non-fighting type, that's fine.
Yes, of course. It's not like I would insult your half-elven heritage.
Mm-hmm.
Or your elven heritage. I'm not too sure how to even say those words. Perhaps it's best I quiet my voice before I do the whole any detail. Yes.
Yeah.
You, strong lads, let's I think you're gonna have to break up the odds.
Yours in like
So he walks to like the one side of the boat, the left side.
Mhm.
Ale, port, yeah. Because there's always a port side of the boat, I remember that. And he like signals to Deacon to join him there, and he points to Rakan and Koshkal to the other side. Rakan doesn't really say much, and he just gets up and goes and gets an oar and pushes down into water, fumbles a bit with the connection. And it, you know, that's a heavy friggin' 15-foot long oar, a pole with a big piece flat spade on the end is what it looks like.
definitely hardwood.
Definitely hard. And it's really like cumbersome, and you eventually get it going and you start rowing, and you know, pretty far apart. We don't
Make
get-
sure everyone we row in rhythm, or we're gonna be going around in circles.
So, yes, like for the next 15 minutes, Donovan's shouting at you all that have taken up oars, and like, no, you there, go faster, you slow down, and eventually it takes a while, but you do get some sort of rhythm going, and you feel that you're actually moving a little bit faster than you were before.
I'm gonna look at Kale and say, "You, knife ears, set a cadence,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What?
set the beat. Come on,
Wait? What did you call me, sir?
knife ears."
Knife. That's nice.
Interesting.
2 hours are open.
The two half elves.
But there's two of them.
There's two half elves.
Yeah, Yolena's a half elf too.
Oh.
There's two small folk, and there's
And
two humans.
also, don't gnomes also have like elf?
Gnomes are slightly pointed.
Yeah.
Slightly.
No, gnomes are children.
So halfling.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love this already.
Very interesting. You're two healers and you're making some slurs against them. Alright.
Oh, there's actually, yeah.
Yeah, 2 of them.
There's one human healer, but there are two half elves that can heal as well. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm just going to sit back and listen. And make that stand out well.
There's no need to be calling anyone. We know each other's names. Call everyone by their names. We do need to keep it a beat though, if we want to continue moving forward.
Well, if it's a beat you want, you can have this one. Now play like a really fast beat.
I see it as a challenge. I'm just gonna go with it.
Deacon just stops rowing and stands up and just looks over at Kale and he's like, "There's no need to be doing anything of that sort. We're all meant to be working together. Let's work together. If not, we're gonna get nowhere, and this job is as good as over."
Why don't you sing a song?
Well, Cos looks like he's enjoying it, and I'm very faster.
Cos goes faster.
The boat would still be spinning then.
Yeah, I think the boat's spinning at this point.
Deacon steadies himself up against the side of the boat. Just so are we going to continue moving in circles while this one over here continues rowing like a madman, or are we going to try and work together?
Who are you calling mad, boy?
I didn't call you mad, I said that you're rowing like a
PvP. PvP.
Trust me, you don't want that.
So are we gonna work together, or are we just gonna all argue amongst ourselves after we all agree to actually work together?
I think the stunned silence says something.
Yeah, Donovan stands up and goes, "Look, lads, this is my boat, and there's gonna be no bloodshed on my boat. Got it? You want to draw swords? Yeah, I'll throw the lot of you overboard.
There will be no...
Take your pick. You're gonna swim, or you're gonna sit down and fucking row.
I just look at him and say, I don't use a sword.
Neither do I, boy.
There will be no fighting. We just need to all work together and get this over with as quickly as possible. I don't really want to be on the water for the entire day when we don't have to.
What, you scared of little water?
I don't like being out in the middle of the ocean. Well, it's not the ocean, it's a river, but I don't like
It's a
being on a
lake.
large body of water, especially when there's talks of things in the water that are not exactly the most safest. I'm being realistic here.
Has Cos not like felt any sort of fatigue at this point?
Is he still rowing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still like spinning around in circles then.
Yeah, and I just keep like ramping up the beat, seeing that he keeps following on, so I ramp it up.
Look, all Cos does is fitness. Like, he's like CrossFit level fit.
He is CrossFit.
Well, if Cos is gonna outdo us on one side, why don't we do the other side with more
Or
people?
jump on the other side.
It's boats don't exactly work that way.
I can
You
see
can make
Cos
it
with
work.
2 oars.
Oh
We've
no!
got either side of the boat's got space for 3 oars.
We just need to
Just
all work
because.
together in rhythm. That way we get a nice current moving the boat forward. If we have one
Yeah.
side moving a lot faster than the other, we're gonna start turning
You're going
side
to turn
that is
around and hit
faster.
something you don't want to hit.
Okay, fine. I'll set a proper pace.
As the pace gets, as Cal starts setting the pace, Deacon gives him a nod and sits back down and starts getting ready to start rowing with the pace.
Cool.
Do we
I'm
want to
just gonna-
start doing strength checks?
Not yet.
Just gonna leave them to it. Don't really want to do any rowing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay out of the way. I'm gonna be useless on those things.
Alright. You eventually start getting the boat moving in the correct direction again. At least you think it is. And another hour passes of considerably uncomfortable silence. Like,
Well, so
it is so
except
silent.
the beat.
And the mist,
except the ding, ding, ding.
yes. But silence between you all. The mist itself is thick enough now that somebody at the end of the boat can't see the front of it.
In which case, I would like to cast a spell that I packed in preparation called
Pretty good.
Create or Destroy Water.
Oh, into the air.
Yes, because
This-
I can, alternatively, you destroy fog in a 30-foot cube within range.
Clever girl. I didn't think that would work. Oh, that's awesome. So you basically just throw that up centered on the center of the boat so that everybody can see? Or you're going forward? of the boat?
Forward.
Cool. Okay.
So I can
you
see where
throw
we're
a spell and there's this cube of, I'll call it a sphere, I guess, more sphere. There's an area where you can actually see out to 30 foot beyond the boat now. And for ease of description, Yelena actually sits there and maintains this effect over time. Doesn't cost you any more spell slots or anything. I'm just going to say it acts like you're concentrating on keeping that fog at bay in that particular area.
Can I check
In
if
so
we're going?
doing that,
Sorry, go on.
nah, that's all good. I'm just going to do it and Deacon, because of that area being cleared, you notice a few things swimming just in front of your boat, the boat, and they look like serpentine creatures bobbing out of the water. First you thought, hey, dolphins, and you're like, no fins. Looks like a kind of serpentine, 3 of them in the front of the boat, like just like dolphins do, jumping in front of a boat. It's pretty much the same thing, but you barely see it because of, and you only saw it because of the fog being dissipated. Elisa, you wanted to do something?
Oh, I was just gonna see if I can tell whether we're going in the right direction by where the sun's coming from.
Yeah,
Through
you
the
can make
fog.
a survival check.
And I'll get my map out to
We got. It looks like we've got company in the water at the bow of the ship.
Can I also
I
get a
got
survival check?
19 on survival.
Never mind.
Survival?
Yeah, 19.
Yep. You figure that you're probably a few degrees off of too far north of where you want to go. And yeah, quick instructions, you could get the boat slowly moving into the right direction. And
Yeah, I
estimate
quickly.
the center of the lake. Like all accounts, the island that islands are pretty much dead center of the lake.
I try to tell that we're going a bit off.
We're heading north, are we?
A little bit.
Okay. Cost,
After
you're gonna
digging
need to
up.
slow down a bit, and I'm gonna need to speed up
Correct.
rowing on my
But
side till we start moving.
Port side needs to left side of the boat needs to speed up a bit.
Speed
and the
up,
right side
and the
needs to slow
starboard
down a
side
bit.
needs to slow down.
Correct.
And when Deacon says there's stuff in the water,
Yeah.
Charles is
Yep.
going to turn around and go, fuck them, keep rowing. If they get on the boat, we kill them.
Exactly.
Well,
Just speed up when this thing's in front of you.
we need.
Isn't that the rules?
I'm
We
gonna
need
look
to-
out and start making that.
Cool.
Um,
Cost you rowing Quinton, Miles.
I'm keeping an eye out, helping Kiri with my map that I made down.
Cool. And she's pretty spot on with her survival roll. You figure about the same thing, that you're slightly off.
Mhm.
Like slightly enough that over time you'd miss the island and with the fog maybe not even see it. But the fact that she was able to convey that and correct the course, you should be hitting the dead center between the two islands.
Yeah, well,
Which is
I'm just
the sweet spot.
keeping an eye out the front then.
Yeah, you see the same thing. Like they're very hard to see these things because they a dark color and it's very similar color to the water, and the water is exceptionally dark here. You wouldn't think like a lake, and like you for an hour he was pushing my pole, and then you moved to oars, and you didn't think this lake could be that deep so quickly, but it is horrendously deep. You can't. That's the water is pretty much black.
And what's the
And
temperature?
these things pop
It's-
out every now and again.
Can I see them as well?
Yeah, if you're at the front of the boat, you can see them.
Yeah, I'm gonna move up.
yeah, Deacon's pointed it out to everyone, so be able to.
Roll
Can I,
that, though.
can I know what it is by doing some sort of a check?
You could do a nature check.
Can I
Yep.
also roll a nature check?
Of course you can.
I got 21.
Oh, jeez. Oh, hey, I got a 21 too.
Ooh, nice.
Girl power.
Good one. You both think, but you think in different ways. Kerry, you think these things are water serpents or sea serpents. Pretty common. You've heard fishermen stories of these things swimming along the boats and catching any fish that don't get pulled up, that like pull off hooks and fall out of the nets.
Cool.
You've heard one story, maybe two stories of fishermen getting, like the boat's been bumped by these things. And the stories went on the fact that they didn't feed them, so they turned around and started attacking the boats. But yeah, very far and few between. It's not common. Yelena, you've heard stories of similar things, except the word sea serpent didn't come into it. You heard stories of something called a naga that did the same thing. Sometimes 3 heads, sometimes 5. Biggest one you heard one of the elders say, or actually not the elders, one of your the person that cared for you for a while. You heard a story from them about some 7-headed serpent beast and a naga again, which kind of fills you a bit with dread that if there is a naga out there, you don't want to piss it off. But yeah, same type of creature, different ways of thinking and different experiences.
Can I start pulling out a notebook and starting to draw it and stuff from my research.
It's literally, for us human real people, it looks like a giant snake. 3 of them. And the way it's moving, you're you are unsure that if it's connected to a single body. So at this point in time, it looks like it's 3 separate creatures.
This, this whole time, I'm just talking to Donovan, asking about random stories that he can think of.
Yeah, he's like your typical old pirate, and you've got the charisma and the skills to actually draw him out of his little, draw him out and get him to talk a bit, and he talks a lot. He talks more of the treasure that he lost. Over time, you're not too sure if that treasure is a monetary treasure. You think it's something else, but you're not, metaphorical treasure, if that makes sense. Or perhaps not coin, perhaps something of sentiment.
All of his pretty dresses.
Or something else. And he just fills your head with like dozens of stories when you get him talking. And so like every now and again that he's old, so he takes a break every now and again from rowing, especially when like things are like balancing out. And then he talks more, and it's just typical old fisherman stories, pirate treasure. The one thing that does strike you is that he never ever talks about the Moon Mistress. Ever. Or the islands. He doesn't talk about it.
Interesting.
So what's the weather like? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it?
Yeah, it's heating up. Those that are not under the 10, it's hot. You're talking 27, 28 degrees at the moment. The worst part is this fog, while it might cool you down a little bit, it's actually not doing that. It's just making it more humid and wet. So it's 28 and feeling like 36.
This is shit. Dick is just
That's
lying. It's
fun.
bloody hot.
It's hot, and those of you in heavy armor, it's even hotter.
Yeah, but Deacon would be a little bit okay with heat because he spent a lot of time around the board.
Yes,
Right.
he would be.
But he still
No,
complains.
he is doing physical work, so yeah, he's sort of okay. It's not like the case that you guys can get exhaustion or anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to try and row away from the sea serpent or naga, you might get exhaustion.
Yeah.
I like nagas. It's okay.
So I'm gonna shuffle up slowly up to Elena and be like, so where are you from? Actually,
Why do I see Kiri like being like this little kid being like, so what you doing?
that's pretty much what I'm going for.
No way.
Are we
Pretty much the same. Yeah.
Well, I don't actually know.
But you've lived somewhere before this, right?
Not permanently, no.
Ooh, so you've seen a lot?
A fair bit, yeah. But nothing worth staying for.
What's it like outside? I mean, outside of here, obviously.
Quiet. It's disappointing, mostly.
Oh.
Telling the little gnome with Wanderlust that it's disappointing.
Just like side point, Yelena is jaded. Like, she doesn't trust nothing.
That is hilarious.
I'm gonna shuffle away awkwardly.
Would Deacon have seen this exchange and just like shake his head laughing a little bit?
Yeah, which one of us would have heard that?
I mean, we're pretty, like, a fair bit away. It's like a quiet conversation.
Yeah, so anybody that's currently rowing or towards the back of the boat can't hear anything.
Plus, I've got a
No,
hot.
well, you can hear murmuring and stuff, and you can see they're talking. And Deacon, I'll give you your feat that gives you
Lip reading.
lip reading. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you can make out about 80% of what they're just talking, small talk. So it's
Yeah.
not like they're plotting to murder everyone on board.
Not yet.
Not
we
yet,
aren't.
anyway.
Not yet.
And yeah. So nobody else really can.
It's okay. In one of my other games, our entire party was plotting to make an intelligent T-Rex and throw on a town. Okay.
Nice. I love having player characters when I'm the PC that ends up working with the GM to become the bad guy. I've done that once
That's me.
in a game
That's
that
me all the
I
time.
was involved in playtesting, and yeah, it was pretty horrific when revealed that I was actually the bad thing. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so you guys carry on going. Small talk. Those things keep up with the boat. They like swim. Probably like they're at that edge of the 30 foot where they're just swimming alongside the boat, not really minding anything. You do notice after about another hour that Donovan's like stands up. He says, "Stern, port and stern, no, port and starboard, starboard side. Slow down a bit. Deacon, it is. Just pick it up. I need to feed the fish." And he goes to that little small hole, and the hold, and he pulls out some fish and he throws it overboard.
Can I help?
Can you help? Of course you can help.
Yeah, I want to see them. More.
It's got like not even three, it's about 2 barrels of fish. And it's all fish, so you can tell that you wouldn't want to eat it unless you're really hungry, or you could cook it properly. But he throws it over and he hands it to you. If you take the fish and you throw it over, it's just typical Mooren Lake trouts. They're fairly big for you to handle, Kerry. 2 hands.
Not
But,
that small.
Yeah, you're a small child.
Yeah.
But if they're that
They are big
big, then
fish. Like those particular fish is a pretty big fish. But
Okay.
you manage it and you throw it over and you see straight away those things just disappear into the water. And you see them bob out every now and again. And it does occur to you and Yelena that they are actually individual creatures rather than one big one. So Yelena starts leaning. Yeah, it's probably more serpent than naga, which is almost a salve really, because you don't want to mess with nagas, not at this level. And yeah, that's exactly what Kiri's stories were. That feed them and they leave you alone. Don't feed them and they'll attack you. It lasts all about 10 minutes, and then Donovan washes his hands in some salt water. Doesn't really care. And then he goes back and picks up the oars and starts rowing again. And it's like, yes, the angels of the lake. It is good to feed them. Yes, they decide that you be their food for the night.
Why do you call them angels of the lake?
It is said that sometimes they rescue boat people that just came out so wrong. Like fishermen that fall overboard. Yeah, it is said that they're rescued. And once, I swear, even myself got rescued when I was a young one. Not much older than you, my friend Deacon. Perhaps even younger, I would wager.
I think a lot younger.
Yeah. I just remembered that you're
Deacon's
not a
old
young
man.
one.
Deacon is 31.
Yeah. DM remembered. He's like, yes, I remember falling over, hit my head on either the boat or an oar, and I woke up and I remember something dragging me onto the beach. I swear it was one of these guys. Maybe not the exact one, but fishermen have their stories. Some people call them angels, some call them guardians. The unlucky ones call them sacrifices.
I can see why you would call them angels. They sound, well, like they're guardians of some sort, like guardians of the lake,
Yeah.
angels of
You
mercy.
treat them well, they will look after you. Treat them poorly, and they will not.
Is there any scientific basis to what he's saying?
Zero.
Okay. I just kind of roll my eyes then.
Yeah, no, zero. There's it's completely all fishermen have their stories. It's like a fisherman going today and going, "Oh, I got rescued by a mermaid."
Yeah.
The only difference is you saw them in the water, but they just responded to getting fed.
Deacon is thinking that it's probably like one of the Tempest gods, like protecting the fishermen, like
Correct.
an agent of another.
Very likely.
Yeah.
Especially in this area. This particular area of TalDorei got lucky in that it wasn't really damaged as much by the chromatic.
The Chroma Conclave.
Yes, the conclave, thank you. It didn't really get attacked or damaged as much. There are still stories and remnants of their footprints all over the place. But it got lucky, and people worship the wild mother quite often, and fishermen, anybody that has a living on the water will have their own beliefs and prayers. And it's not surprised that this old guy has some view of these snake serpents.
It's like their own religion.
Very much so.
I'm just gonna break out in like a high energy, jovial sea chanty.
Oh yeah. Stop singing. Kale, it's been close to 3.5, maybe even coming on 4 hours now that you've all been on this boat, and Kale's skill is actually quite impressive, and you actually pick it up that he's quite talented, that he knows quite a few different tunes and he can switch between them pretty easily. He's not just the old corner musician, he's a talented guy.
Costa's going to look at Deacon and he's going to be impressed by the fact that he's rode for almost 4 hours now.
Yeah, you guys are all fucked.
We're just like,
No, you guys are seriously I'm not. Pretty much at the end of this, you're probably going to have absorption, but not from you. It's just it's doing a 4-hour hike. It's the same effect or a 4-hour bike ride.
yeah.
You're putting yourself through the pace. Luckily, the water has been pretty smooth. This particular lake does get waves.
Is there a bucket nearby?
There are buckets nearby.
Could I scoop some water up and throw it over myself?
Yes.
Sweet. I'm good for another
Cool
4
yourself
hours.
down a little bit. Yep.
Actually, I'm gonna have Deacon, because it is getting warm, he's actually just gonna take his armor off for now. So he's just got his underclothes and all that. So I'm down to I've got no AC.
Correct.
Getting naked.
But that way it's just a bit more comfortable for him to row.
It makes it a lot easier to row as well. And I'm not worried about forcing you guys to make any formal checks. I'm probably going to have all the rowers make a saving throw at the end of this. Which I just will. Just make a con save or strength save. Not which would probably con. Just one period of time. But yeah.
So Deacon's just taken off his male armor for now, and he's now just rowing, just to make it easier on himself, keeping himself cool.
So while prancing around, dancing, singing, I'm offering everyone a little sip from my wineskin.
Yep. She brought the card.
Yeah. Deacon doesn't take any of the wine because he's still semi. He had big festives the day before.
Yes, you did. You got that. One drink might put you back out of age.
I
Hangover
was gonna
again.
neck it. He's just gonna chug.
Yeah, I
Oh.
would have figured that, so I would have went to him last.
Well, he's the only one actually doing stuff at the moment, so
Deacon looks over at Cos and is like, "So you look like you're a skilled fighter when we're taking on that undead."
me,
Yeah, to Cos.
Yeah,
I learned to
that's
fight from a
pretty
young age.
well.
Whereabouts
Not too
did you
bad
learn?
yourself, old man.
Thank you for that. Don't know if it was really fighting what I was doing. I was just doing exactly what I do to a piece of metal. I hit things. But I haven't seen that kind of fighting style this side of Tal'Dorei before.
I didn't learn in Tal'Dorei.
Whereabouts did you learn to fight like that?
In the deserts, and I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. He gets back to Rowan.
So I'm gonna shuffle over to Quentin this time.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask, is it really that disappointing? With a lot of desperation in my voice.
I'm also gonna say I went up to Quentin as well, but I'll let them talk.
It's not that disappointing. What's on your mind?
Well, just wanted to leave for like the past year, and I finally have a chance. Now I'm being told it's not even worth it. It's like, you know. Can I read your book now?
It's a private journal. Why have you been wanting to leave?
One page. I want to leave because, you know, I've kind of learned all I can from this place, roughly.
What have you
So-
been learning?
Just things about the world, how it works, how everything works, what lives here, what plants there are, what's the history, everything. It's pretty cool.
See, my book's just a journal of things I see and stories I hear.
But that's kind of part of it, isn't it? Like getting out there and seeing everything. It's just finding out what's out there and, you know, exploring and learning.
I will open my journal to the Whitestone pages. And there's just a few bar stories and a little bit of a scribble from someone.
I'm just gonna study it, like memorize everything.
There's not too much in there. There's a little bit of scribbles that might take your fancy.
Thank you. And I read it. I've read a bit about Whitestone, obviously, because we've got training routes with them. So there's actually quite a bit about Whitestone here. Have you been outside of this area, like
Just through a few places.
Western? Is it Western?
Western, a city south of Whitestone. It's about like just as far as the crow flies as
Yeah.
Whitestone. This town here.
Okay. What about Iman? Iman.
I've been through Amman, yes. Saw a few of the local whorehouses.
Did someone say what?
First place you go.
Yeah.
Well, strictly business, of course.
Okay.
Who told you,
I
Quentin?
get a bit awkward about the whole, you know, prostitute business mentioned.
It,
I don't know if you can notice that.
it was all business.
Was
Yeah,
it?
it was.
It is all business.
So what do you do then? I mean, if that's your business.
Gathering information's more my business. It's
Is there like a spy?
no, we wouldn't call it that.
Invest.
I
Is
people
it?
people are asking on other people.
That's like the very definition of spy in the dictionary.
Well, more of an investigator, I guess.
Okay, like who? Like who do you study? Who gives you your orders?
There is no contracts I'm on at the moment.
Maybe it's one of us and you can't say it. Say it.
No,
You've come to spy on me, didn't you?
no, I've never met you or never heard of you before.
Cool. I like that. So where are you from?
Classified.
It's a little town south of Whitestone, but that's all right. It's just a few little houses.
Well, it's kind of
Not
like
really a town.
me. I'm from a village outside of here. It's maybe 3 houses. So, yeah,
It's quite small.
quite, yeah, very.
So
That's
do you
why I
know
wanna
much,
get out.
do you know much about Yelena? I saw you talking up there to her. Didn't go too well.
She just seems sad and upset. I don't know. Not really. I mean, she didn't really say much. Gonna leave her to it because she doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to talk.
Yeah, fair enough.
Unless you're spying on her, then I can give you information.
No, I told you before. I'm not spying on anyone. I just happen to be following the crowd in.
Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
You say that to the birds. Bye.
I'm very open and upfront.
So while that conversation's going on, Cos is getting a bucket of water and you're gonna throw it on
Yep.
Deacon.
Oh yeah, to wait him. That makes sense.
To what?
Oh, what the hell was that for?
You look
Hey, nice.
hot, old man. Need to keep up.
Oh. Deacon just cracks his neck and like rolls his shoulders. Oh. And he's just like, he just stops running for a bit. And he's just wiping all the like water from his hair and all that. It now is all in his face. Fuck.
I'm just gonna keep, essentially pestering Quentin for stories about everything outside of here. Basically.
Do you think we should take a break? And I've noticed there is a few fishing poles. Should we dock for a bit? Fish?
Yeah. It's been about 5 hours now, and all the rowers are visibly tired.
If you want a break, we'll take a break, but I'm good.
If you keep pushing yourself, lad, you're gonna break it. You're gonna pull a muscle.
Can I take
guys
out
can
my
take a
portable
break, like the-
making kit?
The
This
what?
is
That
out
my
of character.
portable tea making kit that I don't have actually, but let's
You
just
can
joking.
make you can make tea.
Gonna make
It's not
tea.
that hard.
Yeah, Cos doesn't like to show weakness.
Yeah.
So he's
But
fucked,
doesn't like to show.
but he
I'm
will
just gonna
think
give out
he's good.
tea.
He'll carry on.
Deacon literally just pushes the fishing pole into his hand. It's like, come on, lad, we're fishing.
Fishing's a good thing.
Okay, then if you want a break,
Yeah, okay.
Nope, let's go with that.
Yelena's
Anyone
gonna
else
cast
wanna-
Good Berry and create 10 berries in her hand that fill you up for an entire meal, like limbus bread, but a berry. And she's gonna offer one each to Quentin and Kiri because they're right beside her, or near her.
Oh, thank you. I'm
She's not gonna say
awesome.
anything. She's just gonna like hold her hand out.
I reciprocate with some tea.
She
That's
does look like apologetic about like visibly crushing your dreams. But like
okay.
yeah.
Deacon also goes up to hand Kale a fishing pole.
Cool.
And
Looks a little bit too messy for my fish.
fair enough. He also looks over to Quentin and is like, "You want to come fishing or?"
Sure. I don't think I've ever fished in my life. You'll have to show me.
Certainly try.
I'll shuffle over and grab a fishing rod.
Hands one over, and Deacon goes over to the side using the like fish that he's seen that was used as bait, like
Yep.
used to feed, and he's just going to use that for he's going to show Quentin how to rig up and even allow Cos, if Cos doesn't know how to fish, he will actually
Cost
show him that
not
too.
know how to fish. There is no water where he is from.
That is true. So he's showing them how to rig up a fishing rod and cast out right now. Deacon's being a
Cool.
dad right now.
Well, I am small enough to be a child.
So, just because it's fun, all of you who are trying to learn how to fish can make survival rolls. Deacon,
Mm-hmm.
you can make. I will tell you in a second. You're not going to make survival rolls. I'm going to confuse everyone with this one.
16.
I mean, a performance check might be appropriate because he's showing
Yes,
them.
I'm leaning to that. You can make a performance roll.
Fuck. Performance. I don't like
No,
this.
you make performance. Everyone else is going to make survival who was fishing. Depending on your performance roll, they might get advantage on their survival roll.
Please
Okay.
roll high.
Okay. I'm scared.
Nah.
That's an 11. I rolled a 12 and I've got a -1.
That's enough.
But an 11.
He, surprisingly, Deacon actually explains how properly to add on bait, how to do a lot of stuff with the line that most people would just think, oh, just hook it on and throw it in. And you all actually get advantage on your survival roll to make
Yes.
the fishing check.
Oh,
Because he's
thank you.
actually not a bad teacher, even though he was worried.
Oh, thank you. That's a 19.
Advantage on survival now?
17.
Yep. You only need 10s. If you get a 10 or more, you catch a fish.
Yeah, on my one, I've got a 21.
I caught a fish, got a 19.
17?
You guys all managed to catch, anybody that was fishing, you all managed to catch enough fish that there's enough fish for you and
The rest of the party.
the rest of the group twice over if you want to, or you can throw the extra fish back up here.
We keep Deacon keeps the good fish and chucks the small ones back, because that's what
Yep.
we do.
Oh, good.
He does the whole thing, how you give it a little kiss before tossing it back.
Cost
That
just
is
doesn't
awesome.
understand what's going on, just kisses his fish and throws it back.
And hits another fish and kills it.
And yeah, he just puts the fish in the hold so when they like make land or something, or if they're
Yep.
gonna cook on when they get hit landfall, they'll stop. That way they can have fish for dinner.
Cool. Well, there's enough like barrels down there that you can fill them up with some water and just keep
Okay.
the pressure all under.
Yeah.
Well,
I
While
do
we're
really
down in this, while we're down in the with the barrels, can I see if there's any fun stuff down there?
Who's asking?
Cost.
Sorry, I was looking at a different screen. I need to. You can make an investigation roll.
Alright, what's that? Investigation.
Intelligence.
-1. Let's go. 9.
You find fish, and you think something was a squid. Automatically.
Nice.
While they were fishing, I'm gonna light up a pipe.
Yep.
With one of those like long Asian ones, the straight one,
Yeah.
leading on the end.
Yep.
I think the two girls are currently having a tea party.
Yep.
So, ladies, what brings you to this particular party?
To this party? It's not a party.
Well, my dear, life's a party, if you choose to.
It's one way of looking at it, I guess. But I live here.
Here, as in.
Drynna.
Oh, okay. That makes
Drynna, So I guess nothing really brings me here.
Hello. Yelena kind of just shrugs. And she says, I was just passing through, but it appears I was needed. And so I am here. And she's just going to hold out a berry to see if you would like it.
Oh, I love berries. Thank you.
And it also heals 1 hit point if you have taken any damage.
It's awesome. Good bird.
Cost is going to look at Deacon and just say, you've got to mess with them.
If you want, lad, you can go ahead and mess with them if you will. It's not really my...
Not them, him. The lady
I'm
killer.
gonna turn to Yelena and ask, what do you do? How do you make these? How do you do it?
In what way do you want to mess with Kale?
There's fish, isn't there?
What have you got in mind?
I don't know, you're the smart one.
Are you sure about that?
Well, you keep talking about all this, like, god shit that thought you might be smart.
Not exactly shit. It's real, lad. More, this is real as you and I. However, if you're talking about some sort of prank, or what did Cade used to do? Not much I can think of except mixing up all these fish guts up here and like dunking them on him. But I don't think that's probably the best way to start off a friendship with anyone.
Alright then. And he's just gonna pick up a fish and throw it at him.
At who?
You're
Deacon?
throwing a fish at Kale.
Yeah.
Make an attack roll.
Is that improvised? Or proficient?
Yeah.
Yeah, disadvantage on your attack roll. Throwing
Disadvantage?
object with dexterity modifier.
Okay. That's good. That's cocked. That's good. That's 11.
Yes.
Kale,
Damn it.
oh, Christian, what's your passive perception?
It's not that high, it's only 13.
Out the corner of the eye, you see this coming, and you definitely dodge out the way, because I believe you've got a dex bonus of 2.
3.
There you go.
Yeah.
You literally, you just noticed it out the corner of the eye, and you just dodge to the side, and it goes off.
Just for your information, the first one was a natural 20.
Oof.
Oh,
Oh, gee.
Oh, I love disadvantage.
Yeah, Deacon starts making his way up and walks over to the group that just had a fish thrown towards him, and he's like, "There's gonna be fish for dinner. If anyone doesn't enjoy fish, let me know." And then,
Yelena's a
and then he just,
vegetarian, but she's not going to tell him.
okay.
Isn't that the
Yeah,
whole point of
good.
being vegetarian, though?
Isn't that the point of being vegetarian?
So is everyone okay with a bit of fish to eat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We got a lot of good fresh ones when we were fishing off the side, so.
Yeah, that looks like an alright catch.
So you've actually done pretty well with the fishing.
Yeah. And then Deacon goes over to find the fish that was like thrown, and Mason picks it up off the deck and tosses it overboard.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys.
Anyway, back to Rowan.
Look, I was aiming for a pretty boy, but he missed.
I just blow him a kiss.
Hey.
Can I rage?
Masculinity
Yeah.
is so fragile.
You have no reason to rage right now.
Alright.
I can pinch him.
Like literally. Unless you're really pissed off about missing him with the fish.
Look, I'm pretty pissed off.
Raging on a boat's probably a bad idea.
Raging on the boat to start rowing really fast. Rage.
give you a +2 bonus to attack the water with your oar. You guys are welcome to do private chats if you want to. Yes, you're welcome to hard things from the DM. I don't mind. I hard things from my players all the time. I even try and tell things to players and they don't notice. Oh well.
So you
Really?
Yes, check your private messages. Watch all of you go check. No, there's only one of you that
No, I didn't get anything.
No, you didn't. Not yet. There's lots coming. Alright. But at this point, you're about to like pick up the oars, or you have picked up the oars, and Donovan's like scratching his head a bit, then he's pacing around the top of the boat, and he's looking through the fog. He's like, "Yep, we're pretty close, I think."
I redouble my attention at everything that's and
Yes. I think we are pretty close. This damn fog is a nuisance, though.
Hey, Kiri, didn't we get scroll?
we did.
Inspiration, Quentin.
Yes. Do
Does
you
it
think
does it
we
look like we need it?
Yeah, does it look like we need it?
Yes, it does.
Deacon's just gonna be keeping an eye on his shadow that he's been noticing above him. Like, he's keeping a big eye on it. Like,
Everybody notices that Deacon's actually, while he's sort of slowed down rowing, he's actually looking upwards.
Is that a random thing that's not actually there?
Yeah, you can all make perception rolls.
Yes, please. I got a whole 8.
If anyone's got a passive perception higher than 15, just let me know.
I have
I don't
15
know if
exactly.
Okay.
But my perception roll, I rolled 18.
Cool. I just need to know passives because I give Deacon a lot of information because he's got an 18.
18 passive perception.
Yeah.
I notice things.
But anyone that's 15 or higher, I need to know, so I don't know about 30 characters. Cool. So anybody that got a 15 or higher notices there's this shadow you just notice in the grey folds of the fog you can see a darker patch. But at first, most of you think, oh, it's just it's just denser fog. But when you look at it closely enough, you realise that there's something up there, and it's moving. It's not following directly above the boat, but you see it like slowly float across, and then you notice it again a little while later, like
I'm
a few
gonna.
minutes apart. You notice that it actually floats and drifts back across the top of the boat.
Quentin would like to turn to Donovan and just say, "Have you had any issue with flying beasts over this waters?"
Ah, yes, lad. We pray we do not see any of them. Harpies exist all along the coast. We even had one attack the town once, all by itself. Crazy thing. Didn't last long. But never fear, like, if it shows itself, they are fairly quick to dispatch, unless you hear this singing first.
I'm just gonna shuffle in under the cover.
Wise move! I'll just be here.
Not even.
You're small enough to be picked off by a giant eagle, so I'd rather be safe.
Yeah, I'm just not even gonna do subtly. Just a big step under the cover.
By which point can I actually notice any of this? I had like.
You notice people talking and moving around, yeah.
Okay.
Like anything, unless somebody tells me they're whispering or doing something quietly, everybody can hear it at this point.
Keeping a big
If you
eye.
got a 15 or higher on your perception, you could notice the shadows. If you didn't, you just think they're cloud. They're part of the mist and you don't really notice it.
Is it just the one shadow, or is it multiple shadows?
You think it's only one.
Right.
Anyone else see that above us?
Yeah, I do.
It does seem troubling.
I say keep an eye on it for now. If it does pose a threat, be ready to get
Awesome,
rid of it.
Donovan. Donovan got a 1 on his perception,
Brilliant.
as in a natural one.
Deacon looks over to I can't pronounce the name.
Yelena?
Yelena?
Yelena.
Yeah. Yelena. And he's just like, would you be able to just keep an eye on it as we're rowing? That way, if it looks like it's about to break the mist, we might need to dispatch this thing or things.
Of course.
Put your armor back on, mate.
It might take me about 20 minutes to put the armor back on.
That's
With assistance, you can get your armor on.
Okay, Deacon starts getting his armor back.
Like, Donovan will even help you if he has to.
I'll help.
In the fantasy realm setting, it doesn't take that long.
Okay. He puts his
I'll
now
keep
back
it,
on.
it'll help you.
Yeah, you just get all the strappings and everything back on. What is a chain or is it breastplate?
Oh, it's chainmail. It's not that bad as plate mail.
It's a onesie made of a chainmail.
Yeah.
I know how hard those are to put on. And I don't wear them, but I know how hard they are. Anyway.
Onesies or chainmail?
Both.
How would I go about actually doing the scroll thing then?
You make an Arcana roll and hope you don't roll a 1.
Okay. Well, I
Pretty
haven't
much
noticed
that.
anything, so I'm just gonna.
Because, like, you can risk not using it and try and randomly bump into the island. And as far as you know, you were on the right course, but...
Can I make a survival check first?
Of course you can.
If that doesn't go well, and if you don't want to use that scroll, I do have another spell. It will use my last spell slot, but I do have another spell that could help.
Oh, it's fine. I rolled a 6, so it's not like I could say anything about where.
You rolled a 6 on your survival.
Yeah.
You are still convinced that you are on the right path at the moment.
Oh, okay. In which case, I won't be using the scroll.
Yeah, you don't have to. The scroll will definitely make it easier because it will, compared to the spell that Yelena used earlier, the Gust of Wind spell will give you a much bigger area of clear vision that you can see and then direct yourself into a safe place to dock the boat or
Okay.
park the boat.
Well, if I'm,
But if you don't use it, there's a chance that you'll just run aground.
if I'm convinced
get
that we're going the right way, I'm not. Well,
You are convinced you're going on the right way, which is a good thing. What Donovan is saying is like, what he's hinting at is that you can't really see anything. So at present, if you're going the right way, you're just going to hit the island and probably run aground,
And crash.
which will be uncomfortable. Yeah, crash
Okay.
effectively.
in which case, okay, I'll probably use the spell. With an Arcana check of 21.
You're like your experience or something. You look at the words of the scroll, and at first it's like you don't even know what you're looking at.
It's like you're looking
They
at
don't really make sense.
It's like you're looking at Japanese, then you turn it over, and then it's English.
And then you turn exactly that, and it all just floods into your mind, and all the arcane knowledge that's built into the scroll makes perfect sense to you. Like it's right there, you can touch it, and you feel with mere moments you might be able to learn the spell yourself and cast it. You think you're almost there, and the spell goes off, and you watch like almost disappointingly that the scroll just disintegrates and falls to dust in your hand, and it's like.
I owe somebody 200 gold pieces now. Oh, I feel pain. I don't have that money.
Yes, you do. But she did ask you to get something, if I remember.
Yeah,
Ah,
I've
yes.
got that written down.
Yep.
Yes, I have that
I
somewhere
forget.
too.
I forget notes a lot.
It's
So,
almost.
I should write that down. Well, and this spell goes off, and it clears out a good 100 to 200 yards, just blasts of air. And you were smartly enough to do this when you were right at the front of the boat. You don't blow anyone off
Oh, yeah.
the boat. Yeah. Because some people, especially small people that are now hiding underneath places, will get blown away. And it goes off. And you can see. And it's just so well that you've done this. Because you can see the island in front of you. And Donovan's like, screams whatever the command is to stop rowing, reverse row. And you start like pushing down, and it's at that moment where your oar actually hits ground, and you realize how close you are to this island already.
Deacon's reverse rowing. He's just like,
Yep. You basically all brace, and you come in and turn into this kind of uncomfortable angle, and you realize that the boat has just narrowly. It's about, if you went another 20 minutes forward, you would have actually run aground and possibly damaged the boat, which would be bad for everyone. And Donovan's like, ha! By the gods, we actually made it in one piece. Now, of course, this boat... I've lost the voice. My boat can't take you any further, so you're going to have to jump out and walk.
Are you going to wait for us?
Of course I will wait for you, but I will not set foot on that island.
Okie doke.
He lowers like a rope ladder down the side.
Do you have...
And he throws an anchor down the other side.
Do you have enough food to stay?
I have plenty. You
I got some rations.
was very well.
Whoops. That was an accident.
What was that?
Nothing.
Sorry.
You...
I thought somebody sent me a message that I missed again.
I think you cut off, Alana.
Oh no, I was just saying that nothing happened and I didn't accidentally click anything.
Oh.
Weird.
the charm person.
Yeah.
Those of you who noticed the shadow before, you actually noticed that it's no longer around.
It probably got blown away with the spell.
Just aim it up. Yeah. Its strength check is not that good, so it's very possible.
Yeah, Deacon's
Alrighty.
going on the spy as he's waiting for everyone to get off the boat, and he'll be the last one off.
Cool.
Why don't we
So-
just stay the night on the boat?
Hmm?
Stay the night on the boat because we've been rowing for 6 hours.
Okay.
Almost.
Yeah, it's been about 6.5 hours of hard rowing with
Is it
about a
getting
half
dark?
an hour break. Oh, you had about 2 hours break actually fishing, like you took time. So it's like
Mid
eight,
afternoon.
eight. No, you guys only left at 12. If I remember, you were leaving at lunch.
Yeah. We're leaving
Yeah,
at
so
12, so
it's nighttime.
it's pretty much, well, it's night now, so
Yeah, like the sun has set. You could tell eventually that the sun actually went down, and it is pretty dark. But the island itself has that kind of eerie glow to it, with all the fog and the mist coming
In
off
that
of it.
case, are we going to make camp?
I
Should
will
we-
stay on the boat.
camp
I
out on
think
the
that's
boat
what
and then,
Cass or Quentin was saying, make camp on the boat and stay on the boat for the night.
yeah, that sounds like
You can do that.
a good plan.
If you want to
There
camp on
is,
the island, I can set up a camp with a spell,
What kind of
but,
spell are you talking about?
well, out of character, it's the spell Wild Cunning. It has many things that I can do. One of them is send spirits to bring back wood for a fire and to set up a campsite in the area using your supplies. The spirits build a fire in the circle of stones, put up tents, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, so it's basically instant camp spell.
Yeah, it has other things too, but that's the most
Yeah, it does.
useful
Sounds
at the moment.
In
It's up to you guys.
in reality, I'd rather be on actual land than on a floating ship. But I'll leave it up to the rest of whoever wants to be on land for and camp, or should we stay on the boat and camp?
Well, the boat's more defensible.
I'm happy on land.
I'd much rather be on land.
Land.
The land spell. That spell does sound.
Looks like 5 land, 1 not land.
I mean, Koss can sleep on the boat if he wants to.
Maybe you should stay close to the boat, just in case.
Definitely stay close to the boat.
Of course.
Right.
You've got about, to put in perspective, like where the boat is, jumping in, you guys could actually, the taller people could walk without too much problem. The smaller people would have to swim a little bit or be carried. You're about
Sorry.
30 foot to actual beach. You're that close. And it's like, the problem with this lake is there's steep drop-offs by this island. So that's why you've got this, you come in and you've nearly run aground.
Okay.
Carry me! Koss gets to throw the gnome.
No,
So,
carry, not throw.
What? Throw the gnome into shallower water so the gnome can walk.
I only have 16 hit points. I'm gonna die if you throw me.
What if someone catches?
no.
You've got two small people, right?
Elena will turn into a bear if she has to, and then Kiri can ride on her back.
I'm happy swimming.
Oh,
I mean,
that
I
can
grew
work.
up. I can swim.
Okay, so we're all gonna go landfall close to within eyesight of the boat, set up camp, and then we continue on the morrow.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Sounds like
So you all make your way onto the beach.
Who's
first sign
carrying?
of trouble.
Who's carrying Quinton?
I'll
Oh,
swim.
he's gonna swim. Okay. Deacon's
can
gonna
swim.
carry the
There's no problem.
the barrel of fish that they've caught.
Cool.
I'd offer to carry Quinton's like books and stuff so they don't get wet.
Deacon can carry that if he wants.
Yeah, can you carry my stuff too?
Thanks,
Okay.
guys. I appreciate it.
Deacon will be the pack mule.
Thank you.
Koss is going first.
Okay.
But
Cost is
Mhm.
already on land.
in
Cost-
Forgotten Realms, there's a product, I can't remember the exact word, but it's elven leather, and it's used for spellbooks. Basically, it's a waterproof pouch that the
I
elves
need to
make.
get that.
You can literally put your spellbook into it and sink it into water, and it will never get wet.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of paper on me, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So,
Worst thing ever. I've seen what happens when a wizard actually gets his spellbook lost or stolen.
ooh, that's bad. That's really bad. They're useless. We have a spellbook.
It's a lot better in 5th ed when cantrips are unlimited, but in previous editions where cantrips were not unlimited,
Yeah.
it's terrible. Awesome. What can you cast today? Read magic and detect magic, so that's the only two spells that I didn't need to memorize.
Okay.
Wasn't me, was another thing. Anyway, you'll actually make it fairly okay to the shore.
Yeah. As they get ashore, Deacon hands Quentin his books back, his bag with his books in it, and then he'll give Kerry her bag with her books in it before putting down the barrel. You're welcome.
Oh, good. Now, put in perspective, these, so, the two islands, they are called two islands, but they are pretty much joined in the middle by, call it like a lower sandbar that every now and again actually gets flooded and then it becomes two separate islands. You're on the North Island, which is slightly bigger. Behind the scenes, so a few of you who actually asked more about stuff learned, or somewhere in discussions that might not happen, you actually learned that you believe that she would be on the North Island because it's a big one, and that's why you went to this one. But you're actually where the boat is and where you come on is that little sandbar just between the two, and you walk up onto more solid ground to actually set up tents and camps. Yelena can throw a spell if she wants to.
Yep.
Cool. Cast a spell, and literally within minutes you have a fully functional camp.
So cool.
There's small little ring of fire, and the ring of fire is so neatly done.
The ring of fire!
And so in harmony with the rest of the land around it that it actually looks like it belongs there.
Shock me. Hoo-ha-ha.
Which takes you all up a little bit. And you settle down, and it's at this point that Deacon and Koss, not that he'd admit it, and Ray can actually all realize how tired you actually all are.
Deacon start
I'm not actually go.
picking up the fish to cook it for everyone, since no one said they didn't really want the fish.
Yeah, you can clean the fish off and cook it. You've been around fish before, it's not that difficult to do. And these fish, if you've caught some kind of trout, I'm no zero, you've got trout, barramundi, or some kind of shark. Take your pick.
I'm taking the shark. Shark made it fucking awesome.
I'm sorry. This is just so Australian right now.
It is.
I know.
Yeah.
They actually say in the book they do mention about trout in Mooren Lake. I think in the Drynna chapter it talks about some of the fish that you get.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
It is very Australian.
It is very Australian.
And get this, I grew up on the coast in South Africa. I moved to the coast of Melbourne, and I hate seafood.
I do too. I don't eat seafood. Deacon does. Deacon does.
Strange, yeah.
But you live in
Good
Japan, how can
role-playing.
you not eat seafood?
Don't get me started on frigging bloody sushi, man. Ugh. I've at least tried sushi once and never ever again.
No, I don't do. I don't do sushi. I live in Japan and I don't like sushi. I get weird looks all the time.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you? Walk into a sushi restaurant and order a burger.
Ramen is so much better.
Every Monday is sushi day.
Yeah. Awesome.
I take my ramen and my karage serious. And my yakisoba.
Cool. So you guys have a camp, and those of you who are riding are tired. I'm not going to hit you with exhaustion, because I'm not that cruel. It's really evil, but you've had a bit of a break, and you only rode for a little bit after the break to get here. And it's a pretty warm night.
I'm just playing like a...
Koskar, you're already on the water, on the beach. And you smartly have made the camp a little bit up from the beach where the sand actually turned more into
Grass.
like some shrubbery and stuff where you felt that the water probably didn't come up this far. And this island is even those of you that are not very nature oriented people, you can feel the peace here. It's just, it's like that oasis. You can just go and just go, oh, I feel that I can actually relax.
Yeah, I'm just
Some of the
playing.
more paranoid ones of you are probably thinking, I shouldn't relax, but it feels like I can.
Are we going? Are we like chatting around the fire?
Deacon's sitting
You're
by
on
the
fire,
fire
you're
at the moment.
cooking,
Cooking.
it's good, smell of good cooked fish.
I'm just playing
Okay.
like a soft jazz song.
Soft jazz. Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm on board
Brings
with
up
this.
some soft
I'm on board
song.
with the soft jazz.
Yelena's gonna pull out her lyre, her little instrument that she
Oh, yeah.
has.
Not the lyre.
I forgot
It's
she
like
has.
a little harp, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Like
then
a hand harp, yeah.
she's gonna play
Try and
with
join in.
Phil.
I give it
Awesome.
the biggest scream.
After they're done, I'm gonna sing a farm song from the area.
Awesome. Love it.
Kels is
Deacon.
gonna pull the drum as well he has and play along.
You start. Awesome, I found the name.
They
You can tell me you've got an instrument.
I don't, but I can sing in Dwarvish.
You can sing in Dwarvish. So, am I correct that everybody has got an instrument, but Deacon and Kerry are singing?
I don't have an instrument.
I don't have an instrument, but I've got a dice set which I can shake as maracas.
Hey.
There you go.
I can correct. Does Kiri want to know how to want a flute?
Sure.
Deacon. Okay, he's gonna turn his shield using his channel divinity to convert it into a flute. Forever. I don't have a shield anymore.
You just
Give it to
Oh
Kiri.
geez. I mean, you could probably get a couple of flutes out of that thing.
It's a shield.
We can
I
just
don't use a
borrow
shield.
one when we go back.
Oh, yeah.
Should I roll something to find out if I can actually play it?
Okay. How about we start at the top and go Yelena, performance roll.
Oh geez.
You're gonna all make one. You've all decided to join in this.
Oh
Song.
god, this is going bad.
Okay, it's
I wanna see
17.
I'm gonna write this down.
I'm getting rid of my shield. I've been wanting to get rid of my shield.
You caught me off guard with that one. I was like, you can't do that yet, can you?
Yeah, that's my level 2 channel divinity.
Yeah, I remember. I just thought it would high up. That's the one where you can complete a object straight away.
An object in like 10 to 30, within a short rest of anything as long as it's below 100 gold, and I've got the material for it.
So awesome. Such an awesome ability. Okay, so Yelena.
17.
Wow, good job. Deacon.
Okay, see this? That is a 12.
Oh, that's not terrible.
I rolled a 13.
Kerry.
Okay, performance, because I've never played a flute.
Yep. So performance plus charisma modifier.
Oh, that's 16, because I have a -1.
That's all good.
Oh yeah,
Cos on the drums.
That's 19.
Kiri,
Hey.
add a flute into your inventory.
Quentin.
17.
Whoa. And Kale.
I just rolled my crit roll dice and I got a natural 20.
No.
I was almost expecting a 1 from the bar. Amazingly, within a few moments, you've all actually picked up each other's tunes, and Kiri surprisingly found it very easy to play this incredible lute that is of seriously good craftsmanship.
It also has, there's also is a little insignia on it of a ram symbol on it too.
No, please note that down on the character sheet, please,
Yep.
including the little note about the ram. So maybe it's just the dwarven words that are a bit annoying, but even Deacon's singing is pretty good. And you're all singing, having a good time. Some of you are eating fish. Nobody notices anyone who doesn't. And you're all having a really great time.
And then we
And
go to
it's-
sleep.
And then you all get attacked by the pterodactyl. No. And then you all eventually start tiring, and it's been a couple of hours. You've been talking a little bit amongst yourselves after singing, talking, joking, and you eventually start heading off to whatever sleeping area you have, whether it's a tent or a bedroll or just the natural earth itself, like Koss likes. There are lots of bushes around Koss.
I've got a bedroll, I believe, so.
If you've got a explorer's backpack,
Yeah, I've got a bedroll.
Possibly a tent as well.
I don't have a tent. I've just got a bedroll.
No, that's fine. Other than the fact that the mist, even around here, there's still mist, but it's thin enough that you can actually see about 30, 40 feet around around your little camp. But you all start drifting off to sleep.
Okay.
Before you sleep, does anybody want to try and do anything?
Wait, who's setting up watch?
I'll go watch first.
I won't be able. I don't think Deacon will be in like a watching, considering how tired he is from the rowing.
Yeah, that's alright.
I'll take the watch.
He's an old man.
Cost
Cool.
will take the last watch.
Yeah, I don't exactly have eyes for the night.
I can see stuff, but yeah, I can stay up for a bit if nobody else is doing it.
Yelena will take the first watch.
You only need, like, between the 6 of you, only 3 of you really need to be on watch.
Yeah.
There
and-
are 7 of
staggered.
us.
Yeah. Oh, there's 7 of you. Sorry.
Anyways,
You could, like, 4 of you could be on complete watch, or you could each have shorter watches and each of you take
Yeah.
watch.
It's just, I reckon, just go shorter watches, just like 2 hours for each person
Sounds good.
who's on watch.
Yelena will take the first watch.
Kale takes it.
I can wake up in the morning.
Yeah, I'll take the last watch then.
Okay, so that's everyone.
Oh, that's what I meant. The last one, because then I
Alright, I'll
can
take
see
this.
stuff and
Oh yeah,
search
it's only,
for.
yeah. So we only need 3 people, like 3 hours each, and that's
Alright then, Cost won't take us. Cost will sleep.
Yeah, get some sleep. You did a lot of strenuous activity.
and Deacon actually takes off his armor to go to sleep because he's not sleeping in hot metal armor right now. So, plus, I think it'll be funny if we do get attacked by something. I want to be fighting with a 10 AC.
Does your like sleeping clothes have that butt flap?
No, it's
Cool.
not. I don't have Percy's pajamas. No. No, it's just linen trousers and a shirt. It's just his underclothes he sleeps in. He doesn't actually have pajamas that he changes into.
Does anything happen on the first watch? Kind of look around.
So, who's all on watch?
Just Yelena at the moment.
So Yelena first.
Yep.
Then Kale. Then Kiri.
Awesome. All 3 of you can make me a dark 20 roll.
Oh, what?
Okay.
You don't have to add anything. I just want to know what the dark are.
14.
I got a 7.
12.
By the way, all those dice that you rolled on Facebook was for random encounters on the water.
Oh.
And the the serpents were my input, and the shadows was Kiri's roll of fire.
Ooh.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It's
When it's random encounter, lower is better for the DM. Which you just rolled a 7 again,
I
right?
just rolled a 7 again. But also when it is it light outside already, like getting light when it's my turn.
When it's your turn,
Last
halfway
one.
through it will start becoming dawn.
Okay, so
But it's not your turn yet.
okay, no worries.
Sorry, I missed who was in the middle. Kale, there.
Yeah, Kale.
Yep. Oh,
What did you get? 14?
just D20. Oh.
Yep.
You got 12.
Cool. So everybody's like going to sleep. Yelena's staying up, contemplating nature and the world around her, and it's incredibly still. Other than you barely make out the sound of the water hitting the boat. Every now and again you can hear that a soft sound of a bird or some kind of insect or a smallish animal far in the distance. And these islands you don't think can be that big, you know, like a few miles across at most. They're not big islands at all. And it's not that you hear something, it's more that you feel that you're not alone. Somebody or something is nearby. Which gives you enough reason to start trying to look around. And I want to see if this will work. Yes!
Do I roll a perception?
You don't need to roll any. You can roll a perception. I'm trying to upload a picture.
Oh yeah, I see it. That is a 15. Is that what I see?
Yeah, you like start like looking around and you stand up, like stoke up the fire a little bit more, and just at the edge of it, coming up from the beach, walking out of the water is this woman, and she looks young, like that picture, and she's got a smile on her friendly-looking face. You feel a little bit, because you know that this is most likely the Moon Mistress. You feel a bit in awe of seeing her. You've heard stories, and she like walks up gently and just comes into the edge of the light so you can see her clearly. And she's dressed like that. You can see I think she's holding like a snake in her hand that slithers down and goes off into the bushes. And she smiles and she's 7 strangers come to my island. Perhaps there's only 6 of you here now. Why come you here? What is it that you wish to ask of me?
We're not here for you. We're looking for Sonyana.
Ah, I know this name. A young one. A gnome. Very ambitious she is. Seeks many things. Asks me many favors. She just slowly like walks around, like she's on the edge of the light. You don't think it's not like she can't come closer, but it's almost like she doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Can you tell us where she is?
where she is now? Perhaps I can tell you such a thing. But in my experience, while many questions may be asked, the answers are never free.
Of course. What's
You
your price?
and your companions Interesting. Perhaps you are brave enough to do me a small favor. And then I will tell you all I know of your gnomish friend. Even guide you to where she is now. For I have magic that can pierce the veil of your inside. And I can show you all you need to know. And perhaps even a little bit more.
What is your price?
The price is such an interesting word. But a price it is. You see, there's someone close that has something that I require. Perhaps you can fetch it? I'm sure they will listen to you. This thing I require. It is known by many names, but the name I call it is Silver Milk. And I know someone who has it, a lot of it, as it said. It is the shaman. Maybe I've just missed it. Shit. Sorry, it was going so well. Damn it. It's embarrassing, man. You can make some more than one place. It's terrible idea. Yes. The shaman of the Moon's Teeth Knolls. Luskon is his name. I believe he has exactly what I require. A simple flask, and she cups her hand just enough to fill about this much of the silver milk. If you bring this to me, I will tell you all you wish to know of your gnome friend.
Sounds easy enough.
Excellent. I could see that you are the right one to speak with. Do you speak for the rest of your companions?
I don't claim to speak for anyone but myself, but I believe that they are good enough people, and I'm sure they will do this for you in exchange for what information you have.
Excellent. I'm most pleased. He steps closer to the fire. First time that she's actually entered the area where the light is. And she is strikingly beautiful. Like, there's just no words. And she almost appears human, but there's no human you've seen that could even come close to what she looks like.
Okay.
And she just warms herself.
And I will. Did she hand me the flask?
No.
Okay.
She just cupped her hands like, this is how much I want.
Okay.
Just a flask of it. It's basically enough for one water spoon.
Okay.
I bid you a good night.
Good night.
Do not worry, there will be no danger while you sleep on my island this night. You see, stop walking inland towards the north.
Right on.
That wasn't eerie as fuck.
Real quick, there was some words that I didn't quite get down. She
Sorry.
wants. What's the thing that she wants? Silver what?
Monk?
Silver milk. Milk.
Monk.
My South African accent. Milk.
That's
milk.
okay. Yeah.
Cow's milk.
Silver milk.
Milk. Yeah.
A shaman of what? Moon what?
The moon's teeth. Gnolls.
And what is his name? Could you type
His
it in the
name
chat
is
so I can see?
Moon Scon.
I want to see if I spelled it right. This is exciting. I did!
Well done. Deacon, just because you've got a passive, you actually caught a little bit of the conversation at the end.
Even as asleep?
Yeah, you've got such a high passive, but it's more like you weren't 100% sure if it was anybody talking. But it's enough that you actually wake up like when she's walked away. Like it's enough of that feeling that somebody was around. More, like somebody walks into your room or is in an area, you can just feel it sometimes.
Oh yeah, and stirred me a little bit from the sleep.
Correct. Was enough for you to wake up more than actually hearing any words or anything. Yelena, because you heard this first, you can make an Arcana check on Silver Milk.
Okay.
And whoa, I don't actually know what checks. I'm so used to like the old version of.
That's good. I got an 18 on the Arcana.
That is excellent. I'll be able to tell you something about it soon. You can also make history checks. History checks on the gnolls.
As Deacon stirred up a little bit, he's like, something happened. Feel like something was wrong.
Sorry, one sec. I'm just taking down the numbers and stuff.
Take it down.
Yep.
I got a 14 on history.
Cool. And you said a 17 on Arcana or 19?
18.
18. Close. Alright, well, you and Deacon are awake. So you can talk amongst yourselves while I read something quickly before giving you information, because I just need to make sure it's the right information.
Okay. We were visited. It might be best to do this once everyone is awake, but I think the Moon Mistress was here. At least I'm pretty sure it was her.
What did she say? What was your impression of her?
She seemed kind, but cryptic. She will tell us where Sonyana is if we do something for her.
Okay, so she wanted to make a deal. What does she want us to do?
She wants us to get something called silver milk from a shaman of the Moon Knolls. Luskon, his name is. She said he was close.
Can I now make like a history check?
You can make history to learn about the Gnolls and Arcana. For you, I'll also allow.
Can I use religion?
Do Arcana or religion?
Yeah, I'd rather
to learn about the blood. I mean the milk. Sorry.
The milk.
Blood.
Okay. First rolling my history for Gnolls, because that's the first thing. Natural 1. I know nothing about Gnolls.
Oh jeez.
Silver milk is a 13 for the religion check. On silver.
Okay. You haven't actually heard anything about that either.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm not too familiar with Gnolls or this silver milk things.
And sorry, Alana, 18 on Arcana, right?
Yeah, she got 18 on that.
Yep. So you have heard from more arcane studies than just being who you are. Hey, Quentin, get ice cream for everyone. Being
No.
more about like stories that you've heard or read about when you've had time, rather than stories from your home.
Mhm.
You heard of something called silver milk before. The only thing that links it to or makes it really hard to talk about this one because it's really horrific when you hear it.
Oh.
The silver milk is literally the blood of the Spider Queen.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
fuck! Oh fuck!
Yes. Now, Deacon Chris, you realize why I said religion check.
Yeah, I
You
do
needed a
know.
50. You
I do.
needed a 15, which is probably a bit harsh. Like if somebody said if Yelena said Spider Queen now, you'll probably get another one.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that a lot of people, a lot of elves, and a lot of other people actually seek this blood in order to give them magical powers.
A lot of elves of the Underdark
Yes.
persuasion.
And become Driders. I love Driders. I want to play a Drider.
Oh, they're
That's so
creepy.
awesome. They're so friggin' awesome. I don't really like big spiders or scorpions, but
Yeah.
I like Driders. Yes, and it dawns on you that is that's probably what it is. You're positive you've heard it called milk before, and the reason they call it silver milk is so that like laymen or people that might not know don't get along or don't like pry. Like
Yeah.
you could be talking, yeah, it's a silver milk. You know, you could talk about it casually and nobody really will know unless you've heard stories before.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know anything about the gnolls or this silver milk. Not that I think of. Do you know anything about it?
I've heard some things, but like I said, I'd rather go in detail when everyone's awake.
Well, okay then. I hope you didn't make any major deal that will threaten any of us or yourself.
And I mean, I didn't actually say I agree to this deal, but I did imply that we would do this for her.
Well, did you shake hands or...
No, no such official things happened.
Then it's word of mouth. I guess we'll just have to deal with this in the morning. Did she say anything else?
She said that as long as we were on this island, that we would be safe.
That I might have troubles, dear.
Bugger that.
That's a bit of a stretch. I still feel comfortable if we were keeping watches, just
Of
in
course, of course. And I assume she means that any danger that we don't bring upon ourselves.
Of course.
Did I know anything about the moon gnolls with a 14?
I did not give you any information. Sorry. I'm terrible.
That's okay.
You have heard of them before. You actually, up until you got to Drynna, you never heard of anything about it. You've heard the term gnolls before. They're like dog-like creatures. Hyenas. And hyenas are evil and deserve to be destroyed.
And
all of them.
everything.
Across the entire planet. I hate hyenas. They are evil. And I'll get into that another stage while they're evil.
But that's the gnolls too, because they eat everything and they literally are evil.
They are. Hyenas, I was on just completely off subject. Honeymoon I spent in the Kruger National Park.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on a night drive and wild dogs came running past us and ignored the car hyenas came running past us and looked up to see to calculate whether they could get in and eat us. And you could see it in their eyes. They were calculating whether it was worth the risk to try and get in. That's why they're evil. But their puppies are really cute. The next morning we drove past the den and they're really cute as pups. But then again, so I must have.
My last character.
Anyway. Gnolls are cool. I want to play a Gnoll. Gnolls are awesome. Yes, I love playing monster animals. Gnolls, these particular Gnolls, Yelena heard about just in passing every now and again at the bar, like at the tavern. A couple people on the caravan coming in talked about it a little bit, and these Gnolls live and have a hideout in the. Friggin', I'll keep losing my place and my notes and everything. It's bugging me. And the names of everything. In the Root Garden Marsh, which is the marsh between the Mooren Lake and the actual ocean, marshland. They have a hideout there, and from there they actually strike out all the way along that Potwood Way, the trail that goes from Drynna to Turffields, and then even as far into the Parchwood, all the way up towards Whitestone. They don't really go that far up, but you've heard of tales like the caravan said we have to be wary of the gnolls ambushing, amongst other things. It seemed like, you know, the occasional goblin attack was fine, and the orcs in the area are more westward than around here. But these gnolls would actually come out and attack caravans. Sometimes they could even mount a force and try and attack Drynna, but you didn't hear of anything like that happening. But you've heard of them enough to be wary.
Sorry, could you type all the important titles and stuff that you mentioned? I was trying to jot them down real quick, but I only got half words. No, that's okay.
So these are the gnolls. What did I call them? Where am I? General Moonstead? Why am I there?
The biggest thing was that I missed was where their hideout was.
Yeah. So on the in-game chain, they have a hideout in the Root Garden Marsh, which is east of the lake. They've got big enough numbers. They send out small bands. Let's do this. Some equal small bands. What else is there? There's not much else to really know. Just the general info.
Yeah, I got everything else. That's cool. Thank you.
Cool. No worries. If there's no other questions, the night goes on and you change over shifts as needed. And everyone wakes up in the morning feeling very refreshed.
Can I just...
Everybody... Yep.
Whilst it's my shift and it's already night, I just start that the weed that we were supposed to find. Thistlemoss, yes. That's the one.
Oh yes, that's what it was called. Thistlemoss. Thank you. I even drew a picture of Thistlemoss. Yes, I wrote it down. The Thistlemoss that you're not supposed to handle with your hands.
Oh.
You want to try and look around for Thistlemoss. Okay.
I'm just gonna abandon everything and just.
Yep. You can make a survival roll and try and find Thistlemoss.
Hope for investigation. I got it 11.
That's enough. You're actually amongst the rock pools that are around and near the one side of the beach, a little bit away from your camp, but you can still see the fire and stuff. You're not going that far. You actually see a clump of this moss growing it even looks like spiders that have been flattened and squashed against the rocks. And they've got these little hands or these little tendrils that come out are sticking all over, and it's just sucking onto this thing. And it's at first just going past, you might think it's like a dried up starfish or some kind of animal, but you recognize the description, and it's growing. There's so much of it around here that you can pick as much as you want.
Okay.
But that little warning about not touching it with your hands.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
Yeah.
and take a piece of parchment and like hold it with it and then stick it inside and make a little parcel.
Cool.
And
Make it extra.
suck at this. 11.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You scoop it in and you make like a little envelope with the parchment. It cracks a little bit because it's dry. It's not quite bendable like paper, but you think you've got enough to appease your
Oh, and some extra for
the
me.
library. Yes, you can.
Okay, good. And then I spend the rest of my shift just
note it down if you've got.
scribbling.
You've got 2 doses or 2 samples.
I'm gonna just make notes and drawings of everything that I find that's new, and I haven't found it yet. So
Picture
like,
a squashed spider with lots of hairs.
yeah, so when everybody wakes up, I might not be there.
Nah, you're there.
Yeah.
You were close enough, but this was not hard to find. Which you were also surprised about, because you thought it would be a lot harder to find.
Yeah.
And yep, everybody wakes up in the morning, feeling exceptionally refreshed. Everybody benefits from the effect of a long rest. Yep, so it's morning and it's bright. The mist seems a little bit thinner this morning. And maybe it's the sun, it's quite warm already. You know, it's like 7 a.m. Hey, you're all there. Fire still smoldering a little bit. You can push it up to get to make yourself tea and breakfast in the morning.
While everyone's getting up and like making breakfast, I'm playing Sunday Morning by Maroon 5.
Start singing. Cool.
Deacon
I'm just gonna
using his what is it? Blessing of the Forge to again on his hammer to make it magical for the day.
Yep. Sweet. Yelena, what are you doing in the morning?
Heck, I had a cookie half in my mouth. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just going. You're at the top, so I'm just going around in circles. Maybe I should start at the bottom and get back to you.
She's kind of like pacing around the camp, like nervously.
Yeah. Deacon's watching her too, waiting to see if she.
She's been kidnapped and replaced with a doppelganger. My evil plan is working and she doesn't even know it. Now, alright. Deacon, you like switch over your blessing, you say your prayers to your God in the morning.
Yeah.
You don't feel any different? As in, like, there's nothing stopping you from doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Evil life. Kiri seems a joyful self, poring over her tome and spellbooks. Anything else Kiri wants to do? Sorry,
I'm basically looking at anything that's including bugs and plants and stuff, and I make notes of everything and drawings and stuff.
The morning is so much louder in terms of just natural wildlife and insects and bugs and everything else than the night was.
That's awesome.
Yep. So there's things everywhere. There's strange dragonflies floating about.
And I slowly get away.
Butterfly that wings are completely red. It looks like it's flying on drops of blood.
I take
creepy,
some,
but beautiful as well.
I take some samples of plants if I find them.
Yep. You just grab a whole bunch of just random stuff, like random things that are just, just new to you, and that's what's so exciting about it. It's new. You haven't seen stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the bloodwing moth. You've heard of bloodwings because it was in the library, and it's too fast for you to catch. If you were taller, curses.
Oh, well, I don't want to catch it because I don't want to hurt it.
I know. You don't want to hurt it.
No.
Koskar? Kos.
Goss does his usual routine. He's just got morning yoga and then sharpens the weapons.
Yep.
Morning. He does
Punching a tree.
Pilates, push-ups, sit-ups, death metal.
Mate, he's got to look
Makes
good.
sense. Quinton?
I'm just stuffing my face with whatever is there for breakfast.
Yep. There's leftover fish or there's fresh fish, fried up for breakfast.
Ooh, fresh fish sticks. Yum.
And Kale making music.
Yep, still just playing music.
I'd also like to just, while around the campfire, have a little look for any of the moss.
Yes, because you heard it too. You can make a survival check.
Just sitting down, not walking off anywhere. 18.
I'll make a perception roll instead of survival.
Okay. 20 total.
You, from where you are, it's kind of like hard just to look, but you can see some rocky pools and stuff in the distance where you think that's a likely place for moss to be growing, or perhaps going deeper into more foresty or woody areas because moss will grow on the trees.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool. So you're all sitting down having breakfast.
So what's our next course of action? Beacon's actually looking at Yelena. I will learn the name eventually. Like, he's actually looking at this because he did say we'll discuss it in the morning.
Half of the reason for the pacing is that she realised she's gonna have to talk to multiple people.
Yes. Sorry, I rolled the dice and it just happened to be you.
It's okay. Okay. So, well, during my watch, I visited who I believe was the Moon Mistress, and she told me that she would give us information on Sonyana if we do something for her. She wants a flask full of silver milk, which, if I remember correctly, is literally the blood of the Spider Queen.
Can I now make that religion check?
Hell yeah. I'll give you advantage on that roll now.
Okay. That's good.
Spider Queen?
That's a 20 total.
Yes, you've heard it.
I know lost.
It's on page 122 of the Critical Role TalDorei under the subject heading Drivers.
Okay.
So that's exactly where it came from.
Okay, I'll give that a read over then.
Yeah, so you know exactly what I said before, that it is the blood and the term milk is used.
What page was it again?
The word page 122
122. Okay.
under the Driders.
123.
Yeah, 122 Driders. And the Driders actually spawn from these things, from drinking this blood of their fallen god.
And we are supposed to get this silver milk from a shaman of the Moon Knolls called Luskon. He's apparently very close, that's what she's told me. And she did say that he would be partial to speaking with us or me. She was kind of vague on that point. Whether it was a you in general or a specific you. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I kind of implied that we'd do it for her because it was the only lead we really had, and she's kind of a god, right? I mean, one shouldn't pass up the help of a god, I think.
Did she seem like a nice person?
She seemed very kind, but would I have like felt that there was something underlying, or would I have just like, oh, she's so nice to me right now?
I suppose I should give you an insight check, but in
Okay.
general, like there was zero feelings of animosity or anything
Yeah.
at all. Just like you wanted something, she's willing to give it to you, but do something for her first.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not like the case that she's
Yeah,
good
she's
at
not like
cards.
manipulating me
She's,
or anything. Yeah.
This is my island. I'm not going to do anything for free.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's more like a neutral person.
Yeah. Okay.
If you talk about one.
Okay.
But you can make insight rolls anyway.
Oh no, it's okay. That was all I needed. She didn't seem hostile at all, but it was more of a exchange. I don't think she'd lie if it was something she wanted, which she seemed to really want it.
It probably more of an issue on what does she want with this thing that she wants, and going from what I know about this stuff, it's not exactly the most
Well,
good.
from what we know
It's
of her, she's
good stuff.
seems to be she grants things in exchange for things, and a lot of people want this, so it could just be something she wants to barter with, and honestly I don't care what she's going to do with it.
Well, there's still that 300 up for grabs for her information about her.
There you go. And that's something, isn't it?
That guy didn't seem too on the level, though.
I don't think sell her out.
At the moment, we don't really have any other options unless we're going to try and avoid working with her to get and searching an entire island for. We don't even know if Estonia is still on the island. For certain. We knew that she got here. She's probably our best bet in finding her a lot faster.
Chances are she's not here, because why would she be here if she's already got what she wants?
Exactly. So if we do help this Moon Mistress, and even if what we get her might not be on the level, it's also a fastest way in finding who we're after.
And I mean, the Root Garden Marsh is not that far away.
I also believe that if, like, who has the silver milk?
The shaman, Luskon.
Who is a gnoll, which...
Well, yes, that's the shaman of the Moon Gnolls.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very safe.
I will point out that if these gnolls are a threat of any sort of evil towards people of town or anywhere else, at the end of the day, we could be getting rid of a potential threat.
That is true. But the way the Moon Mistress phrased it, I don't think we're going to be in that much danger. She kind
Also,
of...
we can say,
Go on.
we can challenge them. Their best war against ours.
We could, but I would rather avoid combat if we can get out of it.
Could I tell whether that would even pass up as an option? As in, are they like smart
As a
enough for that
challenge.
sort of stuff?
Yeah, like
Like
do we
a
know enough
noble
about the
challenge.
Gnolls? Yeah.
You got a 14 on your history.
No, I did. I got an 18.
Yeah, I got a 14.
Okay.
This is the
You
stuff I'm good at.
actually you are completely positive that any form of honorable combat will not be on the cards ever.
Yeah, they're not gonna
They,
go for the.
they are completely chaos and completely evil.
They eat and devour. Eat and devour.
Yeah. If you're smaller than them, you die. If you're bigger than them,
You die.
lots of them will attack you and you die. And if you can't die, they'll run away like screaming hyena.
Can I tell anything about the numbers that live there?
The fact that they have a shaman already, like not all Gnoll tribes have a shaman. Shaman tends to mean that that it's a pretty big group. However, the fact that they've got a small and a secret hideout somewhere in Root Garden Marsh, you don't think they'll have like their full pack there. It's likely that inside Root Garden might just be the shaman and a few of the shaman's bodyguards and a few packs that they send out to go raid. You're pretty sure that they don't have their full, like the full tribe there.
I just repeat what you just said to me to everybody. Basically.
Sorry.
Oh, I just repeat what you've said so that I don't have to.
So
Exactly what was just said.
So going by what you're saying, Kiri, that we possibly have a chance of taking out threat if worst comes to worst and we're all pulled into a fight to the death.
Don't say that.
But we hope that doesn't come to that, because
Of course, hoping for the best and not coming to that, but I like to prepare for the worst. That way I'm not surprised.
I hope it comes to that.
of course.
Wait.
Go in first, big man.
Always.
Yeah, Coscar's probably heard of Gnolls before too.
He knows they die, that's about it.
Alright.
Gnolls are known in the in the Eastern Lands.
So should we start making our way towards this area to try and get the item that we need?
You can jump on the boat and see if Donovan will take you over. Or you can go back to Drynna and then go around Balang.
Oh, it's not on the island. We got to go back.
No, Root Garden Marsh is the marshland between the lake and the ocean.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You are
You have to go
literally in the
further.
center of the lake, and it's another 18 miles by boat to the east if you want to go east, or 18 miles back. You've got like 7 hours either way. Going back to Drynna, you could equip supplies if you needed it, and then go around the north of the island, which is about 24 miles or so, which will get you into Root Garden, or you could convince Donovan to take you across the lake and go straight into Root Garden and start at the bottom and work your way up.
Let's ask Donovan.
I think asking Donovan to and making our way over is probably our fastest way
Very much so.
to
We
get.
just come backwards past her anyway after we get this.
It's 7 hours to the marsh, or 7 hours back, and pretty much an entire 2-3 days. I don't remember. No, you do 20 miles a day, so a day and a half maybe.
Yeah.
You'll get across. Thank you, Miles. That's exactly what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in town that I need, so I'm
We were pretty
I
much,
don't think you guys need equipment. I don't think you got enough.
we
money to
pretty
buy
much
any
supplied
fish.
up before we left anyway. So
Yeah.
And those fish that you've got,
Mhm.
any spare fish you've got, I'll say you can actually salt it and turn it into like 5 days worth of rations each. Is enough. If you want to,
Yeah.
you can have salted
should
herring.
today.
Salted.
Oh, my herring.
Just before we go,
Yeah.
we still got the good berry.
Moss.
Yeah, I've still got, wait, how many? I still have 6 good berries.
So
You'd have to, I believe, eat them on those.
Within 24 hours, yeah.
Yeah. I remember. Like this stuff.
okay, so
Cool.
should we?
So you're gonna go back across and go and try and talk to
We're just gonna
Donovan.
go to Donovan and just like sail all the rest of the way to the
Root Garden Marsh,
yeah.
if he allows, because it's his ship.
I'm there with Kale if we're gonna persuade him. I'm there with him to provide what's that spell that I use? Guidance. To give the extra 1d4 on top of any check.
Sounds good. Let's go find Donovan.
Okay.
I'll go as well, just in case things go south and I throw off the boat.
Alright, so make our way to see Donovan.
Yep. Give me a sec. All right. So just Deacon and Kale.
I
Was
think Koss
going to the
went
boat?
as well, just to
And
be
Cos.
the muscle, just in
Go.
case.
You all go to the boat. He's still there, which is a sour relief. You can see his boat from the shore, so it's not disappeared. Maybe blanketed in fog, but it's there. And you get there, and he's like asleep.
well, that's
Hasn't
really
woken
that
up
he's
yet.
still here.
Yeah, yeah. He's honourable. So you wake him up, and he's like, "Ugh, you find what you want already? Come, let's be off. This place gives me the creeps."
Before I even say anything, I hand him a cup of ale.
Nah, he drinks it.
And
You don't think he's had breakfast yet.
I put my hand on Kale and cast guidance into him, and then I was like, there's actually something else my friend here needs to ask you about.
Yep. Well, Deacon is correct, my good man. We learned we need passage to Root Garden Marsh, and I believe from all the stories you've told me, you are the captain we are looking for this job. What do you say?
Excuse me. I had time to stop coughing. That was very well said. You can make a persuasion roll. I'm going to give you advantage because of your little speech there. You're sucking up, and
you got a d4 on top of that too.
And you got a dark one on top of it. Love it.
Well, it's a good thing I got advantage. My first roll was a 2.
Oh, geez.
Ooh.
21.
Sorry. Talking stuff.
Deacon, the man with the guidance.
Ultimate
He's
wing. Like, yeah, I can take you to the marsh. No problem at all. You gonna go gnoll hunting? Or you after something more sinister? Spiders in there, and frogs. Watch out for the frogs. And the harpies too.
What kind of spiders are you talking about?
One's bigger than you.
Good to know.
Yes, dangerous. Don't try and run from them. They can throw their webs at you. Ugh, you seem to shake at that like he's almost remembering an experience. He's like, look, I'll take you there, but I'm not sitting and waiting. You'd have to come around and walk back to Drynna.
That is
I don't know how long you're going to be, and I don't have that much supplies.
that is fair.
Excellent. When you're all ready,
Is
let's
that
move
fair?
on.
Is that fair with everyone else?
Well, I don't see that we have much of a choice. And our dear friend here is already doing us quite a big favor.
It is true. We may also need your services again in the near future after you do us this deed.
I see it as I'm helping my town. No thanks needed. Just don't tell anybody I was this generous, huh? Got a reputation to maintain.
I know a lot about reputation. Your secret's safe with me.
I I will
That's
sing
hitting a
some.
chord. That's hitting a chord right there with Deacon.
I will shout around the town about how much you charged us to do such a task.
How much I would normally charge?
I'll tell them you charged an outrageous amount, and we could not hackle you down.
You know it very well. Thank you, my friend.
Deacon will start making his way off the boat to get everyone so that we can start shoving off and rowing again.
Let me just finish the sketch very quick, please.
Okay, you need me to carry your books and that again?
Yes, please. Thank you, Deacon.
Quentin, do you need your stuff?
Yeah. Quentin's not with the rest of you.
Oh, Quentin is it?
No, you look around, like Quentin is not actually there, and nobody has really noticed.
Okay, I am going to make an observation check to look for him.
You can make a roll. You know how many people are talking about when to use passive and when not?
Yeah, I don't see him. I got a 9. I rolled bad. Does anyone know where Quentin went?
You can all make perception checks.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay, that's not
Let
great.
the cat out. Was it Karen talking?
Okay, that's
I'll see if I'm losing signal.
not awesome.
I'm not wireless
I rolled a
headphones.
1, so I can see anything.
Oh,
I got a
geez.
5.
I got 10.
This is awesome. I'm 3 meters away from my computer and I can still hear everyone.
I got 13.
Anybody get a 59?
No.
No,
Sorry, Clifton.
Jeez!
We
59
care about
higher. Nobody noticed. Yes, well done, Kerry.
Deacon just starts calling out, Quentin, we're
So,
shoving off soon.
Yelena,
Right.
you got a 13. Anyone who got higher than 13?
Nope.
Yelena, you actually see him coming out from the bushes and the trees. And he's just walking back to the party.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I saw some of that moss.
Oh, I got some.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. I should have said.
That's all right. I'll join them on the boat. If
that's not the
someone
prettiest flower to be picking.
able to carry my stuff and keep it out of the water?
Deacon holds out his hand, which already has Kiri's bag to help carry all the stuff over so the small ones can actually get to the boat.
Cos will just pick him up by the strappers and just carry him.
We all get onto the boat and
Yep. You all get onto the boat and you shove off. It's early morning. You figure 6 hours. You're probably going to have to row for the 4 hours or so. And then it will probably calm down enough or be shallow enough towards the end where you could actually find a place to park.
Yep.
Dock. I guess dock, even though there isn't a dock.
Parallel
And you
park.
start off, and it's again you almost feel reluctant to leave this island. Like, other than the strange appearance of the Moon Mistress and just the fact that she only spoke to one of you, it still feels like a very safe place to be, and very comfortable and very relaxing. And as you get further away, you all look back at the island, feeling like you want to come back here at some point. Just because it's a nice place to play.
That Deacon feels uneasy that he feels like he misses an island he only spent like a night on.
Yes.
I question this.
But this is strange. But at the same time, you're like,
I want to go back.
I want to go back because it's a nice place to be, but why?
Why?
It's like spending one night in an airport and then you want to go back there because it was in a country you've never been to.
I know that.
Singapore for me. Spent Singapore for half a day in Singapore. Couldn't leave the freaking airport.
I did the same thing in Amsterdam.
Oh no!
However, I did end up going back and actually visiting Amsterdam, but still, I was in
I wouldn't mind actually seeing Singapore. And first couple hours, it's completely calm. Water gets a bit choppy. The temperature's slightly cooler this day, and the closer you get to the marsh and further that way, it actually gets a little bit colder. It doesn't really feel like summer anymore. It feels more like an autumn kind of coolness, or like a random Melbourne winter day in summer.
Interesting. I take note. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm probably talking.
You can actually see the land.
Okay.
Yeah,
Land.
I was probably talking to Yelena, asking her about the Moon Mistress, what was she like, and
She will like tell you what she knows, you know, in her usual way of like 16,000 pauses.
Yeah.
But
Awkward lanes.
yeah, she's not great, is the thing.
But was she as beautiful as everyone says she is?
Yes.
Yes.
She was nothing like I've seen before.
I
Sounds
bet long blonde hair.
Well, it sounds
Something
like,
like that,
have
yeah.
to finish this task just so I can meet her.
It will be certainly something, I assure you.
Okay. We're all. Have we made landfall?
You're about an hour away.
Okay.
Is the
Like you can see it clearly enough despite the mist that's around.
okay?
You can actually see it, and all of you can actually make investigation rolls.
Oh, geez.
I love you.
Oh, I'm actually good at that. Ooh.
I'm getting rid of this dice now. I just rolled a natural 3, so that's a 6 on my investigation.
That was a lot of mixed emotions there.
I don't know how I did it. I rolled a 0.
What?
You rolled a natural 1 and you got a -1?
Oh, buddy.
How'd you roll a 25?
I got
Did
a
anybody
natural
get
20.
higher than 10? Oh, 25, Kerry, 22, Quinton, 24, Yelena.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, I saw Quinton's roll before Yelena's came up. That was weird.
Tea party group. Killing
Yeah.
it.
I just did a
That's-
9 out of 10.
That's the trick.
And
It's tea.
Kale,
It makes you
you said something as well, didn't you?
Out of 10.
Alright. All of you that got higher than 15,
So the tea.
you get the feeling that the mist is actually coming from the island.
Huh.
Huh.
So it's getting thinner the further we are away from it.
The further away you go away from the island, the thinner it is. Interesting, isn't it? And you all come up and get to a point where the boat has to get anchored and you have to actually swim and walk across. It's
They,
like
they can
you can even
approach.
Donovan like points to the marsh, and it's this overgrown jungle of dead. That's like Yelena. This puts you completely, makes you feel ill just looking at it. Even though you know it's natural, it's just like anybody that loves like nature and outdoors. This is just not a nice place. It looks like a jungle of dead things, everything like dead plants, dead trees, dead
But are they
creatures.
really dead?
Exactly. And what eats the dead is more concerning. But you're like less than 2 miles walk, and you'll be at the southern entrance to the Root Garden Marsh.
Deacon becomes pack mule again to carry the stuff to start making his way off the boat.
Awesome. You all make it to shore without like not too many issues. Foot slips a little bit. The water's colder than the other side. And when you were near the island, it was warmer. But you all make it there, and you're all safe. And there's no leeches, or there's nothing biting you yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you turn, and Donovan gives you a wave, and he pushes off. And you keep thinking to yourself, like, how the heck is he going to get back without being able to row? And he pushes the boat starts drifting.
And then he
off
does the
into
shadow clone jutsu.
He has an unseen servant that he uses to help him row.
Yeah,
gonna
a
say,
one
we
of
should just
unseen servant.
We should have just killed him and taken the boat.
What?
I would advise against such a dark act.
Hey, he's my new best friend. Don't touch him.
Yeah, you probably don't want to kill him.
So we're gnoll hunting.
You're gnoll hunting in Root Garden Marsh.
Deacon puts his hammer over his shoulder and he starts trudging.
How late is it, by the way?
It's 11 now.
Oh no,
About noon.
I meant in the game.
In game.
Oh, okay. Like midday.
Yeah, it would be about midday because if we've woken up about 7, 8-ish, it was like 7 hours boat ride until we were there. So yeah,
It's like early afternoon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're looking at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, roughly.
Okay.
yeah.
Is there like thick
So,
foliage ahead?
yes.
Alright, then I'll pull out my scimitar and just start like hacking as we walk.
You can pick roots through it, but it's so overgrown, and you figure, like, for good reason, people don't come here. So the only things that come here are things that come here to die, or things that come here to eat the dead things, or things come here because they actually like it here. And those are the ones that you have to worry about. Let me see if I can make this work. One of them, I can delete you. But I'll select everybody. Okay. Alright. Guess what? I have a map for us.
Yay!
Um, um, I tried to copy and paste you guys, it didn't work.
Oh
We can
geez.
put ourselves back on there.
I moved the player thing, and in the bottom left corner is where you guys are.
Okay.
I just see black at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said
Oh, excellent. That means my fog of war is working. This is probably one of the few times that I'm actually using like layers. So there's stuff on GM layer, and there's stuff on player layer, and there's stuff on map layer. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Should we?
I keep forgetting fog of war because it appears as grey on my side, so I don't notice it always. That's about the limit of your vision. And yes, those little clouds there are natural low fog bands. Do you guys want to push on a little bit because it's just gone 11?
I'm okay with continuing on if everyone else is okay
Yeah,
with.
I'm fine today.
I've probably I've probably got about an hour in me. I've got to get up early tomorrow.
Yeah, same.
No problem. I don't think we'll go on for now.
Yeah.
Maybe another half an hour.
Yeah.
If combat occurs, it's a map, it's likely. We'll stop it at the start of combat.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
is kind of depressing. Unless it's only a small combat.
Yeah, that's fine.
But this is simple. Your visual range in this place is about 30 foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm actually going to load 24.
Beacon,
Right, so
Yes.
can you detect things?
I can. I'm just gonna.
So that's about that area that I've highlighted is like the limit of what you can see. And dark vision, low light doesn't really help you because it's of the mist
Okay.
and the fog that's here. It's not the same kind of mist from, not to be confused with Mist of Island, it's the same effect, but it's not, it's just like mist that's actually seeping up from all the decaying material under your feet. And it's just seeping up. And the smaller folk actually have a harder time. I'm missing a token, or is it on top of somebody?
I think
Quentin, the 2 girls.
Kale.
Kale has
Kale.
been stuff in. I think.
I tried to copy and paste it on it.
No, we just chuck it on.
Yeah. I think we all just chucked ourselves on.
There you go. Okay.
I can.
For the time being, Raken is with you.
Mhm.
Just, I don't even know if you've joined the chat. No, he hasn't. He's online. No, he is online now. Raken is with you, but in the great schemes of things, he's not going to participate in anything. So he doesn't count as a combatant. He's just following you around. Just to keep it easy. Unless you guys get into serious trouble. Then we'll be save the party. Hopefully not. But it's simple. You guys get to choose directions. You get to choose where you're moving. You get to choose what you're doing.
Okay.
We can start in reverse. How about this? Kale, what are you doing?
Just to answer the
You
question
phased-
that was asked before
Yep.
that, yeah, I can actually detect evil creatures and beings within a
Pain, aberration, and undead, and
whole heap
something
of
else.
beings within
Yes.
30 feet of me. If you want me to start using that now, just in case.
Can you keep it up?
I can use it for 10. It stays up for 10 minutes, and then
Concentration while you're using.
yeah,
Maybe we should hold off a tiny bit then. See what we can.
I'll keep my eyes open if anything does merit the need of it. I will activate it and let everyone know if there is thing close by.
Cool.
Sure.
And Deacon starts. So which way are we gonna head actually?
That's your choice. The arrow is just there to mark starting point. Just FYI. Can you actually see the arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the yellow arrow?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's literally just there marking your initial direction. So this isn't immediately as you enter. I'll say you've probably been walking for probably about nearly an hour through this mess, and you haven't really seen much other than the occasional mosquito that bites you. You haven't even been attacked by any leeches or anything either, which is thankful.
Yeah,
but the terrain is very similar. You've got these narrow little rivers and streams all over the place that are filled with muck and gunk, and then the terrain around it is just dead trees and shrubs, and it's just like just really uncomfortable, and you're all actually pretty uncomfortable and miserable being in there. But hey, you've got stuff to do.
Okay, so Deacon just starts heading out forward towards east-ish direction, like trying to look for like any source of like running rivers or anything, because we were told that they were at a cave, didn't we?
That they have a hideout in the areas.
Yeah, so
Signifies a cave. The trees that you do see in the area have got these. The trees are kind of strange in that their roots, instead of growing into the ground, they actually form these stilts. And the way these trees form these stilts are like 10 feet high in some places. Some of them are even 20 feet up.
it's like the freaking suicide forest.
Okay.
It's like basically all roots growing over the top of themselves, so you're basically just standing on roots and you can fall any given time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. And the way that these stilts actually form these little baskets, some of them are big enough to actually camp in.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That could be
Or
the hideout.
hard predators in as well. So you kind of rather steer away from the trees when you see them, because you don't know what's in them, but you also obviously keep an eye out, because you don't know if that particular tree could be the hideout that you're looking for. What else? Pick a direction, and then when you start walking, we can make survival or investigation checks to find the tracks.
Well, we have two options. We can try and find them, or let them find us.
I'd rather find them.
I'd rather find them.
Yeah.
Hopefully not straight away into an encounter either.
Yeah.
I would rather find them, learn more about them, hope they don't find out about us, and then we can jump on them, or even then try and get what we need to get out of it.
Never really been in a real fight.
A few.
Technically, we've all been in a real fight. We did face an undead together.
Yeah, your very first undead.
Yeah,
Very
I know
first
that. Yeah.
All stories you tell of undead will be about that one.
That was the
Until
day
you meet
before
something
yesterday.
worse.
So I believe that we should start heading in a northeast direction and try and get our bearings to try and find where this camp is.
Sweet.
Yeah, let's do that.
You can start walking.
Sounds
Moving
reasonable.
through this place, you're all moving effectively at half speed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just because
Difficult
you
terrain.
can still run, but it's effectively difficult to run. It's a little bit strangely, like shallower streams are a little bit easier to walk in, because like there's more cube and more movement in the water. But on the lane, it's a little bit harder to move. And you start walking in that direction. So you start to walk in. Let's see if this actually works. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you see the tree?
Yes.
Yep.
Can you see any yellow writing?
Nope.
No.
Good! It's like, oh my god, I can see my master plan! No!
So Deacon's starting to make his way in this general direction.
So you cross these rivers and streams are pretty easy to cross, even for the little folk. Sorry, little folk. They're still pretty easy, but they take you up, for the little guys, they take you up to about your waist. For everyone else, it's like mostly knee height, roughly. A few of the times you squelch a bit further in and you start moving.
So
All of you, because you're all aware, you can make perception rolls. But I'm going to, for this once, I'm going to say you can't get lower than your passive.
Oh.
Well, okay, if I can't get lower than my passive, I'm just going with the 18 then.
As in you can roll, but
Yeah.
I don't even on your roll because you get +5 to passive. You don't get +5 to your actual roll. So
Yeah, I don't get +5 to the actual rolls.
okay,
I
but everyone
rolled-
else,
I got a 12 overall, but my passive's
yeah. So you can't get lower than your passive, but you can get higher.
yeah.
I got
Just for this
12.
one, so it's not a total roll that I'm going to use every time. I'm
Yeah.
just trying different ideas.
18.
So 18, 18. Feel free to write it in. It makes it easy for me.
Yeah.
I know what yours is.
Okay, I'm not typing it in then.
Yeah, yours are memorized until your wisdom goes up. Whoa, 18, 18, 20, 15s. 15's not big enough,
Natural
so-
20.
Natural 20. I told you guys, like in the one group where 20s became 30s and 1s became -10s.
Oh shit.
On everything, because we didn't use like a critical hit on a skill check, didn't mean anything. So that's why we brought it up and started using that, which is awesome. But natural 20 wins this, everyone's wins. I'm gonna say Cos because you feel it first. You see the water that Deacon is actually walking in at the moment. He's causing a little bit of ripples, but ahead of him by about 15 feet is more ripples, and you see it first. Two eyes just like slowly emerge from the water and look at him, and that's when Deacon sees it, Cal sees it, and Yelena sees it. Because you've got about a second to act before they notice.
I'm just gonna pull out my glaive and run and try and stab it.
Cool. You'll notice something in the water, on those of you with the 18s. 15 was just not enough, Quentin. In fact, 18 was what you needed on their stealth checks.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I rolled a 15, plus your stealth. And you charge forward as this thing starts popping its head out. And I think that, do you guys want to try and run this combat, or do you want to get the next one?
Do you think it's gonna take longer than maybe like 2 or 3 rounds of combat?
Let me reveal, and then you can decide. How about that?
Okay, yeah.
Can you see that?
It's a frog.
It is a giant fucking toad.
Okay, yeah, I think we can take it. I think we can deal with it. Not 3 of them.
Yeah, we're fine. I have area of
All
effect spells, we're good.
Okay, so
3 giant toads, and you're lucky because they didn't get the surprise round on you.
so do we get a surprise round?
Cost does, I believe.
I'm going to give Cost the surprise round
Okay,
because he charged. He charged.
okay.
I'll give it to him. You guys are not surprised, but you are not surprising them because they saw you. They saw you, Deacon. Everybody's aware of them now, yes.
Yeah.
So, Cos, you can charge forward and make your attack.
Cool. So I'm going to move into combat. I'm gonna rage, and then I'm gonna reckless attack.
Fuck yeah.
I love reckless attack. You gain advantage, but you grant advantage?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. That comes up with the whole rogue combination. Where it's useful.
So then it's +5. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't hit.
You
You
sure?
roll 1.
It's a 9.
With
You're
advantage.
right. It actually dodges your attack. But you charged, didn't you?
Yeah.
Charging doesn't do any.
Charges doesn't do anything quickly.
Yeah.
No, it does.
It actually ducks under the water, and you skim the top of the water, and you missed it completely, which makes you even madder. Everybody can do initiative.
Was that mine with advantage?
Sorry, did somebody ask them?
Yeah, I was asking if you rolled for advantage.
Yeah. I got a 4
I-
and a 3.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm lucky. Let me knock my key over.
and it's still classified difficult terrain, so we're only moving like 15 feet now, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay.
So difficult terrain. For you guys, not for them. Thank you. Hateful natural creatures. All right. I'm gonna do a. What is your initiative? Oh, holy crap. Okay. Anybody get above 20s? Oh, you all wrote it down. Nice. Sorry, I'm just writing everyone's down. Oh, Yelena. Not that it matters.
I'll be dead before I get my turn, I can tell.
You guys are underestimating John Frogs. Very very small. Too many K's.
Right?
Crazy. Alright, their turn first.
Luckily, they've
Sorry.
all got a different vowel at the end after the K there.
Yep, very much so. So the one that's straight in front of you, Cos, will try and bite you.
Yep.
Yes. Sorry, I was just reading
Sorry.
one of the extra things. It actually emerges from the water in front of you, like where you just hit, and you actually are pissed off because you missed it. And it's got advantage on the attack against you.
Yep.
Rolled a 6 and rolled an 18.
Yeah, I hit.
22. Does 22 hit?
Yes.
Oh,
Oof.
Uh, you take 7 points of damage.
Is that reduced to
Piercing.
half? That's
The piercing reduced to half,
So 3.
correct?
Yep.
And then you take 10 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
poison isn't halved, I think.
It's not
No.
half.
That's
Nope.
bad.
And you are currently grappled
Oh, gee.
as it's got you in its mouth, and you realize this thing is trying to swallow Cos whole.
Okay. Oh fuck.
All right. I rolled a 10 on the poison damage. I'm sorry.
I'm at half
Please
health.
tell me if anybody gets below half health. 1, 2, 3. This one, yeah, jumps clean over those two, and we'll try and bite Dickon.
Oh.
Ooh. I've got a feeling I just missed you, right? 16?
That's my armor class that hits.
Oh! I thought it was going to miss.
Sorry, because you don't have a shield anymore.
I never used the shield anyway.
Oh, yeah, two-handed weapon.
Yeah, I used the Warhammer two-handed.
So you take 4 points of piercing damage
Mm-hmm.
and 4 points of poison damage.
Okay.
And yes, you're grappled.
Bugger.
Yeah. This one jumps to there and Yeah, it jumps to there, and that's its turn. Quentin, yours. It is that particular one that I just moved is licking its lip at the gorgeous tail. Quentin, your turn. Do something miraculous.
I'm just gonna move up here and just go for a dagger attack.
Go for it. I will give you sneak attack.
So advantage? No, just
Not
attack.
advantage itself.
Just
Just
sneak attack. 16. No, natural 16 with
Actually, I think you do have advantage because it's just
21.
you hit.
1d4.
1d4 plus 2d6, I think you get for snake attack.
1d6.
Is it only 1d6 at level 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes up
2d6
to
at level 3.
yeah.
Okay.
5 total.
Cool. Next is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Kerry.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. Okay, so Yelena's next to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She's not gonna be going into combat. I'm gonna kind of sneak behind Quentin and cast Mage Armor.
Cool.
I'm assuming this is gonna help you. It doesn't, and I'm gonna. And that gives you your armor class to be
16, I believe it is.
13
You're casting
plus.
mage armor on Quentin.
Yes, 13 plus your
13.
dexterity modifier.
13 plus my dexterities. 3.
So 16.
16.
16.
Got it.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
I also get Arcane Ward with that.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Alright. Kale. You've got a frog staring at you. A frog the size of a human. It's like the size of a really big dog. Actually, bigger, sorry. Larger big. The size of a car.
Cast Dissonant Whispers at it.
Oh, Dave?
Yeah, that's a
Wisdom saving throw.
wisdom saving throw. If it fails, it also has to use its reaction to move its full movement speed away from the person.
Seeing that it has no bonuses and I rolled lower than 10,
It's a running away.
So it takes
how much damage?
3d6 psychic damage. Give me a sec.
Ouch.
Oh, not bad. 13.
13?
Yeah, 1, 3.
Oh.
And it runs away.
And it's
On its
on
turn.
its turn, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
On its turn.
Cool.
Yeah, so I just whisper at it. I'm like, bitch. And that's what it's it.
So I'm trying to look for an icon that signifies fear. There you go. Alright, Kale, Kosh. You're currently being grappled.
Oh, what about me?
Kale, Kosh?
Yeah, I mean you
Who
are
am I
grappled,
missing?
but it's Cos's turn.
I thought it was my turn because I've got the same initiative as Kale.
Who?
Deacon.
Didn't get 13.
Deacon, I missed you completely, man. Sorry, Deacon, your turn.
Okay. First,
Sorry,
bonus
buddy.
action, I'm looking over at Kos, and I'm
Oh, you
casting Healing Word.
Grappled as well, yeah?
Yeah, I'm grappled, but I'm casting Healing Word
Cover it.
towards Kos,
Good idea.
because he took a big blow. He heals 5 points of damage.
Cool.
that spell. And now I'm just gonna attack the thing that's trying to eat me with my warhammer.
Okay, so you can either make an attack, or you can try and break the grapple.
I'm attacking. Fuck the thing. I've got a hammer.
You might not be able to. Give me a second.
I think grapple just reduces your movement speed down to 0. If not.
Correct. How about that?
So
Oh, and Kiri's got a nice spell that could work as well.
Do I?
That spell you asked me about earlier.
Oh, really?
But
Um,
depends whether
Gonna
your
probably kill
friend's
him.
been grappled or your friend's taking damage. Yes, you can make an attack.
that is a 17 to hit.
Hit.
Nice.
They are pretty easy to hit.
Okay, that's 7 plus 4 because it's a magic weapon.
Yep.
And that's 11 points of bludgeoning. Magical bludgeoning damage.
Ouch. Start smashing it on its head.
And that's my turn. It's just
Ignore the numbers that are in. I think it's. I'm just marking which numbers I'm doing. Yeah.
feel the wrath of my hammer.
Alright, and then Kosh, you just gotta boosted some hit points there and can go beat people up now. Oh, in this case, the frog that's holding you.
Cost there.
Did you lose it?
Sorry, that's an 11.
That's a hit.
Yes,
That's the armor class. 11.
well, that was pretty bad. I rolled a 5 and a 6 again.
Wow.
And that's plus 5, I think it is. I'm raging. Yep, that's 12 points of damage.
Ouch. It's your one is looking pretty messed up, but it's still holding on to the grapple.
Cool.
Cool. Yelena.
Okie dokie. I'm going to move to here. And then I'm going to cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff and give it a hit.
Yep.
Ooh, pretty good. 13, 18, 22, 22.
That's a hit.
Okay.
Double atomic class. That's definitely a hit.
Ooh. And that is 11 damage.
Oof.
I've got club this thing over its head, and its terrified eyes are nearly bulging out already, but it looks like it's going to be turning to run. Like hell. It is scared and terrified. Not at you, though.
Right on.
And that's the end of round 1. Round 2. I'll do him first. He turns to run. Anybody within melee range, which technically Deacon, you can make an attack of
I'm
opportunity.
attacking it. I'm really pissed
Thing.
off.
As it tries to jump.
Okay. Do
So
I
that's
make
what
an
it's
attack
doing.
too?
It's jumping and running. Yes.
Okay.
So Yelena and Deacon can make an attack on it.
23.
17.
I'm class 11, guys. Yeah.
Another 8. That's another 11 damage.
That's 8 points of damage from Deacon. Magic hammer.
Magic quarterstaff.
So I've got the notes on the beast on my. Yeah. It lands messily on the ground, and you see it slowly trying to drag itself to the water on 1 hit point.
I got plans for you, kid.
I'm just gonna say it's out of combat because it's definitely not fucking coming back.
I don't got plans for you.
Well done. Now, the problems. The problems are this.
Kale and Deacon
Costs.
eaten by frogs.
Because
Cost.
your
Yep.
frog is trying to eat you. So I'm going to make an attack roll against your armor class. Like normal. I'll roll a 13. Does a 17 hit you?
Sorry?
Does a 17 hit you?
Yep.
Close. The rest of you stare in absolute horror as this thing bites down on Kos and starts swallowing him, and you can see his feet dangling on the outside. Kos, you are currently being swallowed. Deacon,
Yep.
does a
Oh,
12
very
hit
gross.
you?
A 12 does not hit me. 16.
And somehow, with your chainmail, and you're like trying to move, and the hit that you gave it across its head, it's actually struggling to get you down, and it's like, bleh, bleh, bleh. It's like trying to, it's pretty much choking on you at the moment,
Not to
which is good.
frog.
So, putting this in perspective, you're pretty much fine, even though it actually missed you, so it didn't do any damage.
Mhm.
So, Kos, you are currently... The grapple ends. Yay.
He's now restrained.
The swallowed target is blinded and restrained, and you have total cover against other effects outside of the toad. You also feel the uncomfortable burning sensation of liquid fire called acid burning you at this present time. "12 points of acid damage."
Oh, gee.
Oof.
Lucky
So
it's
that's
me.
an-
Lucky it's me.
Yeah, very lucky it's you.
Okay, I can get to
You
you.
realize that all of you are frigging taken back by this, and Deacon's probably the most afraid one, other than because you can't feel the fear, because he's raging.
But
Deacon's probably the
I've got
one that's
faith
most
in my-
afraid, because you know this could happen to you next.
Yes. I'm most afraid, but I've got faith in my god. Or Hammer
Yes,
will protect
you
me.
do.
Done.
Quentin,
Back to me already. Jeez.
last round.
Who's getting swallowed? Sorry.
Kos has currently been swallowed. You can barely see a foot sticking out, and Deacon, the frog looks like it's currently choking on Deacon's armor, trying to swallow him. The one that's in the most pressing danger is probably Kos.
Okay, I might shuffle around
Sure.
and attack the one that's swallowing.
Yep. Technically, Kos is still a threat to it, so technically you still get
What is it? Plus 5, 15.
Okay.
Yeah. 9, 10. 4 and a 6. Nice.
good. It's looking pretty messy, but it hasn't like spat him out anyway. Okay. Kerry?
If I go past this frog, the first one, it won't get opportunity thing on me,
If
will it?
you leave it
If
melee,
if
and
it tries to, it can get an attack of opportunity on you if you go past it, but it will end up dropping Deacon if it does.
Okay. Well then I'm gonna move here.
But if you just take one step forward at once, it's only if you're moving like straight past it.
Yeah, I'll move straight past it. I can't. I'm assuming it won't drop.
How lucky do you feel?
Um,
I'll put this to you. You can roll. You've got a 50% chance that it's going to go after you because you're the smaller thing.
so it's D20.
D20, you pick Odds or evens, whatever you want.
Oh, I don't know. Should I just? I got a 9. It's giving it attack.
So you're safe. It keeps what it's in its mouth, but you did see it look at you when you went past, like it's noticed you.
And then I'm gonna dagger. Probably miss. There we.
It's in the 11.
Oh no, I got a 19.
That's a hit.
Yeah. And then a total of 1d4 with a 4. Woo!
Looking very messy. I only have, if you haven't noticed, I only have 2 levels of wounds for monsters. They are either not wounded and healthy, or they are messy. Or the 4th edition version of being bloodied. And these are all bloody, meaning less than half health. They are pretty tough. They are very tough. I'm scared. Kiri Kellen. Hey, you have a turn last.
Hmm?
Oh yes, you do. Kale, yours.
I'm gonna move here and use vicious mockery on the one that's swallowing cause.
Cool. Wisdom save, right?
Yep. And I'm pretty sure you don't want that in your mouth.
I rolled a 19.
Yeah, it passes. Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks in his foot. Is that's a full action for you?
I'll use Actually, yeah, that's it. Alright.
Cool. Deacon.
Okay, I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Searing Smite.
Yep.
So now for my next melee attack, if it hits, it's going to do an extra 1d6 fire damage on top of it, and it will need to make a Constitution saving throw at the start of each of its turns, or take an extra d6 fire.
Ouch. All right.
I'm a burn this thing.
Go ahead.
Natural fucking 20.
Good work.
Nice.
Oh, that.
Well done. Damage me. Damage me.
Are we doing just rolling one set of dice and just doubling the score, or roll dice? Like
no, just roll. Oh, either way you want. But
Okay.
just double the dice and then add all the modifiers off it.
Yep. So that is, I rolled a 7 on my Warhammer, so that's 14 plus 4, so that's 18 plus 2 points of fire damage. So that is 20 points of damage overall.
So you hit this thing on its head. You pop one of its eyes, bursts in front of you, it's spraying its blood all over you, and you think like, "Fuck, it's still up." And then that brief moment, at the head of your axe, your hammer bursts into fire like a divine fire of pure white light and burns its head, and it screeches and squeals and drops to the ground, writhing in absolute agony as you manage to drop this one.
Okay.
Bar 1 point.
Okay. So I'm no longer grappled.
You are prone on the ground.
Oh, I'm prone? I thought I was
Yep.
just grappled by it.
Yeah, it just dropped you out of its mouth.
Okay. So I'll use one move. I'll just stand up and maybe move close as I can to the next frog, which I think I only get like one more square of movement. So I'm like,
Yeah, you're probably gonna get 5 feet.
yeah. So I'm over here and I'm staring at this other frog that's eating.
Eating your friend.
It's eating my friend.
Yes.
The power of your hammer.
I'm worried about your friend. Yelena.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, I can do that.
Wait, I missed
It's
something.
Cost's
Cost,
turn.
it's your
Yeah,
turn.
you miss.
Damn. It's your turn.
Yep.
You've been swallowed whole and been digested at prison.
Cool. Can I attack from inside?
Yes.
Is it disadvantage?
It's disadvantage because you're blinded.
Blinded?
Makes no
So then-
freaking sense.
What, that's restraint?
I'm gonna. No, he's blinded and restrained.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
'Cause he can't see.
at what restraint does it.
Oh, I have the conditions up here. A creature's speed becomes 0 and it comes attack rolls against the creature have advantage. You have disadvantage. Yeah, you just have disadvantage.
Yeah, and disadvantage on
Which counters your normal advantage, so you have a normal attack roll.
Normal attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Come on, don't fuck me.
Don't
That's
fuck
a
me up.
19.
That's it.
Kill it. Kill it.
I don't think you can in this case.
I'll try. It's cocked. 15 points.
Holy shit.
Was that max damage on the dice?
That's max damage.
Yeah, that's max damage. Oh, fuck.
You're using a glaive, right?
Yeah.
Carry this blade comes out the side of this frog and narrowly misses you. And the frog squeals in absolute agony, but it is still up.
No.
What?
Yes. Still up. But you need a little bit extra. Yelena, come on!
Okay. Do you want me to kill it or help you?
He's inside the frog. I don't think he can hear you right now.
He's been digested.
Okay.
Just metagame, he's been digested.
Okay.
Which means immediate damage on the frog's next turn.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez Louise.
It is like, yeah,
Okay.
he's so close.
Okay.
So close.
Then I will attack the toad then. Actually, no. I'll bonus action healing word him first. First
Good.
of all. Forgot
Yep.
I could do that.
I'll say because he's like created a hole, you can actually see part of his arm and gives you enough to actually target him.
Okay. Ooh. That is you get 7 points of healing.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna hit the.
Does that mean you've got more than 10 now, Chris?
Yeah. I'm on 17.
Oh, good.
Right.
Then I'm gonna hit the dang thing. Okay. That is 11.
That's it.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
That's what you need to hit it. But plus everyone around it.
Yeah.
Everyone
Okay,
around it.
Okay, that's not a lot of damage. That is, oh, where's my plus? Okay, that is 6 damage.
You scream something. Come on. How do you want to do this? You've
Oh,
done the killing blow. You've done the killing blow by 1 hit point.
Oh, gee. I'm just gonna,
You can describe how you do it.
okay. Okay, I want to scream, drop it! And then I want to, like, stab the bottom of my quarterstaff into its head.
God.
Pretty much skewer part of its head and your staff comes out the top of its skull. And like, it just like rises on you and then falls over, and Cos in his rage manages to tear open the hole and stand there breathing and grunting. Arrgh! Come on, Cos, give me a growl. Covered in this frog stuff. And you have beaten all 3 of them. I was seriously worried.
Shit, that was clutch.
Oh.
These things were created with a random encounter for your level. They are only challenge rating 1s.
I'm sweating. I'm actually sweating.
Its next damage, to put it, once you're in the stomach, it's 3d10.
Ooh.
Instant, every single round.
I was actually considering using my inflict wounds on one of it because that's 3d10, but I don't have it prepared. So are you serious?
Oh, this is the case of DM going, yeah, it's Sharon 1, it's fine. I'll look up the monster if it becomes important. It became important, and it has solo 3 damage.
I think it was
Ouch.
also because we had what is it, difficult terrain in that, and they got the higher.
And they got the drop on you, and they also won initiative
Yeah.
with an 18.
Mm.
But that was good, guys. Makes
Um,
me feel more confident about what else is out here.
Deacon moves up to Cos and uses his last spell to cast what is it?
Healing.
I don't have it prepared. I'm just going to use another healing word.
Look,
Oh,
I'm fine.
I can cure wounds. I have it prepared.
Okay,
I've got
yeah.
more hit points than all of you.
Not right now, you don't.
Yeah.
I'm fine, actually.
Yeah, I have more than you.
He's
ATM.
got 17 hit points at present.
Yeah, my max is 20.
But considering one of these
Ooh.
things was doing 1d10 plus 4, plus 2, sorry, on a bite, plus another 1d10 poison.
Heal 11 points.
I heal 11.
Yep. I don't like their poison damage because it's no save. Straight 1d10.
I'm almost full health.
Okay,
No way.
good.
Okay. I think we need a long rest anyway.
Yes. So, can you all, just for my sanity, either send me updated character sheets, or in a private message, send me your hit points, your total max hit points.
When we level up, because we're leveling up, are we up?
You are leveling up to level 3.
Okay.
Bing!
And we're going
You all
to
level up.
max hit point. Are we?
You get max hit points for level 3, yes.
Yeah, I'm on 30.
And then after this level, you'll be pinging at story-driven milestones.
Yep.
And then average hit points, or you can roll after this.
Ooh.
So level 3, you get everything that your class gets at level 3.
Nothing.
Kiri,
I get some spells.
you get a second level spell slot and another first level spell slot.
I get
And Kiri, you get to add, I believe it's 2 spells to your spell book, or 1 spell, I can't remember which one.
And you got your second level spell slots too. I'm very sure.
And your second level spell slots. Kiri, if you want to, like, you can add any spells you want. One of those spells can be the Gust of Wind spell, because you've learned it.
Yeah.
You've still learned it, but you've used it. But that's your choice.
Sure,
whether you want
sure.
to and yeah, everybody else gets what they get.
You can double team Gust of Wind.
Gust of Wind.
I'm going to start looking at the spells that I'm meant to learn.
Second level.
Second level spells get pretty dang good for druids.
I get heat metal.
So do I.
Yes.
Because I'm always prepared because it's Forge Domain and Magic Weapon.
Magic Weapon, which is very useful coming up.
As a grassland, I get invisibility and Pass Without Trace for free.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
I think the magic weapon will be very helpful to give it to someone else. That way I can still use my magic hammer and we're still doing magic damage.
Those frogs had 39 hit points each.
Oh wow, so I pretty much almost got close to a one-shot on that toad with my natural 20. If I rolled better on fire damage, it could have possibly one-shotted it.
Yes. It was your fire damage that put it over to kill it.
Yeah.
And the one that ran away had 1 hit point left. And the next 2 were killed bar 1 hit point.
I'm so glad for that 1 hit point.
I'm fixing up my my character sheet on Roll20. So Wes, if you want to pick up,
if you guys want to do it there, it's fine. Wherever.
Yeah, that way you can look at it and.
I just want to protect myself and party stuff from accidental killing.
Yeah, I'll send it over.
Are we taking a long rest here?
You can take a long rest and get all your spells back and your new second level spells. If you take a short rest, you only get what short rest gives you.
Okay, yeah,
choice.
I recommend.
I'm debating a long rest because you guys have got wounds and injuries and.
I don't.
I
I know you don't,
I'm fine.
I'm perfectly fine.
but
Yeah,
half of
I'm
you are out
fine.
of spells. It's your choice as a group.
Don't
You
worry.
can. There is that tree right next to you, and that's one of those trees where you can actually make camp inside the tree.
Yeah.
well,
Uh,
Quentin has
go
mage
pre-made.
armor
Quentin, yes,
right now.
you can put your character sheet in Roll20. You should have access to it. You do have access to it.
Mhm.
Um,
I'll update my roll 20 tomorrow. I can't bother today.
I'm
Yeah, same.
I'm doing it right. I'm fixing it all up now.
cool.
I'm picking my paper one in front of me up now. I can't bother doing anything.
I'm gonna send it over when I get
Yeah,
my spell.
Quentin. I mean, who's Quentin Miles?
Yep.
I've granted you access to your character on Roll20, so on the thing that looks like a freaking newspaper, it says journal on it. You should be able to go there, or if you double click, if you double click on your icon, I don't know if this is how it shows for players, and click save changes. No, nothing happened. What am I doing wrong, guys?
Continue playing. Enhance
You
ability.
should be able to see it.
I can go edit, and then it's just the bio.
And then use the little tab that says character sheet and attributes and abilities.
Nope, it's just bio and info.
Yeah, you've put the character sheet in his journal, but you haven't given him editability.
Can be edited and controlled by Chris and Quentin.
Hmm, that's weird.
Unless you might have to refresh the Roll20, like this part, because you're already in game and it's just given it there. You might have to refresh it. I don't know.
Okay, I'll try it again. I don't really like to look at them, it's just for records, but it would be good at least to have 8 points in there. I know, that was good. I was actually afraid.
I was very afraid that we were about to lose our barbarian.
I was afraid that you were about to get swallowed as well.
I'm so glad they didn't.
Both of you being like unconscious and swallowed. Like that would be 3 rounds you dead. Once you get to 0.
Oh no. If I got
each
swallowed,
round.
I would have been unconscious because I only had 10 hit points left.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then 3 rounds after that you're dead. Because each round you just die because you lose the death save.
And you get or lose one for the damage.
That's good.
Side.
You guys survived. So I literally created this map with random encounters at places that if you get close enough to it, the particular encounter will occur. And you just happen to do the straight, obvious, go in the direction of the arrow. And that effect off roll.
At least they didn't surprise us.
Yeah,
Oh.
that would have been bad. Because they probably would have tried to pick up smaller things first.
So were we gonna do the long rest or just short rest?
Up to you guys. Like I said, long rest gives you all
Everything.
the spellcasters their second level spells, full hit points.
Go long.
Short rest means you only get what you get for short rest, which you can heal up, and Kiri, I believe, can get 1 spell slot left.
I say we climb the tree.
Which is a wizard.
Yeah.
You can climb the tree and sleep in the tree, or you can actually get into the boughs of the tree and the roots and make a 45 camp.
Let's go inside the tree.
Inside the tree, fortify it, and
Yep.
Wait, can you
I
quickly
did what I did last night.
infantry view?
Yep. Heard that, Kiri. All good. Good idea, too. Okay. And what we can end it there.